thought I was told I wasn't allowed to say that in the 50s.
You can't use that word.
I can sometimes.
Hi.
We've talked about it.
Oh, I should close. Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi. Bro.
Disembodied hand. Thank you, thing.
Well, that is another thing. God, things everywhere.
Yeah, it's
ass
just gonna
getting
pop up all
stabbed.
night.
About what? No. I liked it.
They never said don't sit on scissors, just don't run with them. Way better.
Whatever you're into.
That's my fetish.
Time this kid in high school class, they were talking about criminally insane people, and he was like, yeah, I think you know everything you do no matter what, and he got in front of class with a pair of scissors and just slit his fucking hand open like that. And he was like, yeah, I'm crazy, but I knew I did that. And that's the whole story.
That's a particular scream for attention, isn't it?
I guess.
Welcome to Real Dumb. Where we talk about real dumb stuff.
The most appropriately named live stream on Facebook.
My name is Chris.
I'm Rainer, I guess.
Hello.
I'm Kyle.
Today we're
I
going to
mean,
yell at each other about music.
And I'm gonna win, because I'm undefeated right now.
Are you really?
I am.
Oh, fuck
For like-
yeah.
For like 3
can I
months.
say I hope he doesn't?
I don't even need no notes now. Just bash on Kyle today. Sorry, Chris, you're not my rival today. You might actually win.
I need somewhere to ash.
I have an ashtray.
In my mouth.
Oh,
You're on the other side. of
Well,
the
that's
room.
hot.
You could.
Well, this is family. I mean, Lord.
Yeah, today we're going to argue about music and yeah.
Mostly just music. Mostly.
we hope.
Yeah. There will be tangents, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No, Corey's not here.
Let's argue about how much dick Corey sucks.
How much he pees his pants.
Poor Corey.
It was wine.
Isn't
I'll
it
say
like his
Corey, Corey,
birthday
it was wine.
too?
I don't feel bad
Yeah,
for
happy
him.
birthday, Corey.
Yeah,
Happy
happy
birthday,
birthday,
Corey.
Corey.
Fuck you,
Shit.
Corey.
I was not.
That's all I can sing of that song.
No, it's public
Yeah.
domain.
No, that's public domain. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, they
it, was,
did.
it was owned by.
I think Donald Trump
Company.
once
Uh,
wanted
is
to
it
copyright
Warner,
it, but
maybe?
Yeah, I didn't want to say the name of the company.
Oh, my bad.
It was owned by people.
we'll sing it later. You know, it's like, I mean, I'm pretty sure the shitty band I'm about to talk to has a great rendition of it.
Alright, want to get started? What question?
The first question is about who's the most overrated band or artist that everyone else thinks is great?
So I picked this question, so I should. You want me to give my pick first?
I guess that's how it
Yes.
works. You would
Alright.
know better than I do.
Yes.
All right. So I picked this question, and I think that the most acclaimed, yet overrated musician came to me immediately because it's Elvis fucking Presley.
Oh damn, that's a hot take.
Okay.
I went with a band that literally just sucks. I don't understand their acclamation and all the things they've gotten. The worst band from the great state of Ireland, U2.
I chose the correct answer of the Sex Pistols because they fucking suck.
Do they though? Like here's
They
the
are.
Do they though?
What you see is what you get.
Here,
Do they, though?
here's kind of a problem with both of yours being like overrated or anything. And you know what, they might be, but they ushered in or helped usher in like a style of music, or they might have just kind of copied a bunch or just covered it in different ways, stuff like that. U2 brought nothing to the table. They're literally just a shitty fucking band. They don't do anything original.
The Edge is one of the most one of
Edge-
the most revolutionary guitarists of modern
using
time.
delay pedals and doing da-da-da-da-da-da-da because that's
No,
all the Edge does.
He's
I
a-
can play guitar
he's a
for the
sonic-
goddamn
he's a sonic
U2s.
perfectionist, man. The way that nobody, he has like a whole stage full of rack mounts, and to get the tone that he's looking for. And not only that, but like especially their older stuff that was more political instead of just the poppy shit. Like, it was great. Fucking Sunday Bloody Sunday.
Yeah, and that's
fucking-
still a pop song. That's something everybody knows. Nobody cares about the lyrics. It sounds like shit.
At least they wrote their songs.
It's that, yeah,
Elvis
barely.
Presley didn't write songs. I mean, he wrote like a couple songs.
Elvis Presley is fine. He
No,
ushered
he's
in rock
not.
and roll. Without him, there would be no rock and roll. Sorry, other
No,
people
he's
that
not,
might
and
sound
that's
bad.
one of the problems with Elvis is he's not the king of rock and roll.
He was commercially.
He barely
he
made a
was.
rock and roll record.
Commercially,
Like,
he brought in
he
that
he
style
made
of
country
music.
and he made country and fucking blues records. Didn't write any
Which
of
is
them.
basically what rock and roll kind of evolved from. There's no doubt about it. It's blues and like
Yeah,
old
but
style
even during
country.
the 50s, or even during like the 50s and 60s and stuff, there were still people who were playing real rock and roll, real blues and shit. And Elvis wasn't it. He was singing fucking Amazing Grace and fucking
It's
shooting
commercially
his TV.
successful. That's what
Like,
you got to do.
Here's the thing about like Elvis had like his voice is okay, but like that's the only thing that he had going for him. He didn't write a lot of stuff. Hell, most of the shit that he was singing was was like public domain, like old fucking church songs and shit like that. And fucking you, like I said, U2, they have some pretty, you know, they have some like political songs. It's not just fluff. And then with who did you say? The Sex Pistols. The Sex Pistols, like I said, what you see is what you get. They're not good.
What you see
They're
is
not.
what you get exactly.
They're not
Fucking
great.
suck.
They're not great musicians. They're a fucking punk band.
No, they're a fucking shit fucking group. All right, Elvis.
They're
and
bad
U2
people.
both got. they both fucking at least wanted or had the desire to make music. The Sex Pistols entirely was formed to sell.
Thank you.
Well, that's fine. I mean, Spinal Tap's kind of in the same way. They were made to make a movie, and they made music, and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with the Sex Pistols. They're always
No, there's
esteemed.
everything wrong with the fucking Sex.
Just because they're a brand
Again,
doesn't
at
mean
least
that
they
they're
wrote their songs.
overrated or bad. Yeah,
They wrote a handful of songs.
they're just. I mean, they're fine though. I don't see
The-
how they're
the- the
overrated.
Sex-
Not everybody
How
loves
you
the
don't
Sex
see
Pistols.
how they're overrated? Okay, everyone fucking claims that they're the first UK punk band. They're not fucking not. They started in '75. Coxfire was a fucking band in what 72. Coxfire was a fucking band in '62. They're also not like one of the first fucking punk bands. The first punk band is actually Death, which nobody credits as being the first.
Fucking good.
punk
I
band.
will say that, guys. Listen to Death. They're great.
Nobody credits Death as being the first punk band because they're a fucking 4 black dudes
From Detroit, yeah.
They just didn't make fucking good music, period. Like, the only good thing that come out of the Sex Pistols are, like, the fucking other UK bands that followed, but they're such a trash fucking band. They literally were formed to sell
Do you-
fucking clothing.
Dude,
They're a fucking boy.
Here's the thing about your guys' bands that you mentioned. Are their houses a fucking theme park?
Dude, Graceland's
the
not
most
a theme
the most
park.
visited
What are you-
house in the United
That's not
States.
a theme park. It's a
The
nice
whole,
house.
the most visited house. It's a museum. The most visited house in America, other than the White House. This dude had 150 albums and singles that were gold, platinum, or multi-platinum.
Yeah. So how does that make him overrated? The Sex
Because
Pistols, the Sex
he's-
Pistols released
the-
4 fucking singles and 1 album of like
Yeah,
11
but
tracks.
nobody ever says that the Sex Pistols are like the best punk band ever. They just know them as like they kind of helped usher in that style of music. It's not.
Yeah, but they
they're-
fucking
it's,
suck.
They're to me they're not even that acclaimed. They're just more revered. They're more legendary.
They're
than,
controversial.
than what
And,
that. Yeah, and
Yeah,
then their name just
the
of
entirety
course
of
the
the
Sex
Sex
Pistols.
was focused on fucking controversy that was manufactured by their goddamn manager purposely just to fucking be a vile fucking vulgarity
But
bullshit.
do they own the title of King of Punk Rock, or does U2 own
No,
the
but
title
they're
of Kings
Right, hold on,
of
question.
Irish folk rock
Is G.G.
music?
Allen in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? No,
Oh,
he's
no, I
fucking
don't
not.
think so.
He's not.
No,
Why the
because-
fuck are the Sex Pistols in the fucking
Because
Rock
they
and Roll Hall
didn't.
of Fame?
Because
They
Gigi
did the
Allen
same
rapes
fucking
women
bullshit.
and throws shit at people on stage. Like
Sex Pistols
I mean,
threw
that's
shit at
that might
people
be
on fucking
cool
stage
and
vomited on fucking
punky,
people
but
on
that's
stage and purposely
can't-
fought their fucking audience.
yeah to usher in punk. There and again, I think your
Yeah, but
argument
that shit
here
is
is
not
not
punk. That shit
is
is
not.
garbage.
Yeah,
That
but
shit
I'm
is
saying
hot
I
fucking
don't
garbage.
think they're as
You know
acclaimed
who's
as you're
fucking
trying
punk?
to say.
The Clash.
And
You know
it-
who's fucking punk? Susie and the Banshees.
And without
Like,
them,
every
without the
fucking band
Sex
that come after
Pistols,
them.
though, that without Sex Pistols to kind of be like, whoa, in your face, You
To be
kind
the
of calm
pop-
down
to be
from
the
that.
punk boy
You
band
have to
to
do
bring it
that,
to
and
the
I don't think
But
they're
they're
acclaimed.
trash.
But yeah, exactly. I don't think they're acclaimed though. The question says, are they acclaimed? I don't know anybody saying they're the best, or they have Grammys, or they're just
I don't
like
know anybody
all
that
this
doesn't
stuff.
know
They
of the
just
Sex
sell.
Pistols.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean people like them. They just like a T-shirt. It's like buying a Nirvana shirt at fucking Walmart or something. Like just because people know of them doesn't mean they like them or they're acclaimed. Like with Elvis. He's super overrated, but he's not as overrated as me because he actually produced music after music after music, and people know him. His songs are just kind of, good, but I don't think they were bad. For that time, he's a great artist. He's a great seller, promoter, stuff like that, kind of like what the Sex Pistols does. What U2 did, what the fuck did they do? 3 songs by U2, somehow they're the most commercially successful touring band every year that they tour. They just rake in
Because people
dollars.
like their fucking
And for
music.
some reason, they have the most Grammys of any fucking band in the fucking world of music. It's
Because
Because they're
Live
a
Aid.
hardworking fucking.
but they're
Live
not
Aid.
good. Like,
Live Aid.
No.
and that's another
But they
point.
know how
Just
to play their
because,
fucking instruments.
just because
They
they're
know how to play their
nice,
instruments.
just because they're nice to the world and like to give back doesn't make up for the fact that they're shit and generic.
You're just mad because you still haven't found what you're looking for.
And that's fine because that song fucking sucks, but everybody loves it. You hear that song on the radio, you hit next, but a lot of people are like, that's the greatest fucking pop song ever. Edge is just in there playing fucking G chord, blah, 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 some delay and tone differences, whatever. Who the fuck even knows who else is in the band? Is Bono and the Edge? They have a fucking drummer,
At least he
probably
can play
Matt.
guitar.
At this point, just
Elvis, while he had
that's all they do.
Elvis
There's
had
no
a sense of
it's
rhythm,
just-
but he knew like 3 chords.
just silly. Well,
Like the edge would totally
So
kick
did
Elvis's
Johnny
ass
Johnny
with the
Cash is like that too. He wasn't a great musician. He just knew how to.
He's a lot better than
promote.
Elvis.
I don't know. He literally is not
He
playing
wrote
like crazy
songs.
guitar solos or anything.
I'm
Elvis
saying-
has
I'm
to
just
write
saying
songs
Elvis
too. He has to.
moved
He has to
wrote a few
change
of
them. He has
but he was
to.
mostly he was
Elvis
the original pop
spawned
music.
an entire craze of fucking like music though. Like it
And so did the Sex Pistols.
yeah, but not really. People
Everything we
people
hate-
like inaccurately claim they did, but they fucking did
They
not.
they helped usher it in. It's kind of like the Beatles. They weren't the first like British like pop band or whatever, but without the Beatles, we wouldn't even have like the Sex Pistols or anything. They might be like super overrated to some people, but you have to have bands like that kind of usher in the thing, and that doesn't mean that they're overrated or
But that's the thing.
highly
Everyone
acclaimed.
thinks they're the first to do all this shit, and they're really fucking not. They're not even the first UK band to release a fucking.
But they're the first to
punk
usher
single.
it into the
The
pop
fucking-
masses,
the fucking
the pop
Damn Door.
culture of
No, they
of
weren't.
what
The
you
Damn
can
Door.
do.
As well as the fucking like, given they're not a UK band, but like the most influential band to punk music would be the Stooges. Without a doubt, like they are. But somehow it's the fucking Sex Pistols and the goddamn Ramones that everybody fucking talks about.
Because
We
they
talk
were
about
good
the
at
birth of
selling
fucking
what they
punk.
sell. But like they're a brand. They're not to me.
Yeah, they
again,
are a
again,
brand.
they're not.
Which makes
the-
them overrated
I
because
don't
we're
think
not
that's
talking about like their
overrated.
fans or
They're not
that bullshit.
acclaimed.
We're talking about their fucking music.
But their music
is
isn't
overrated
acclaimed.
and it's shitty.
It's not acclaimed like universally or
Why the
liked
fuck
by
are they in the
everybody.
rock and roll Hall of Fame?
Because they ushered in some new era of music, a brand new British
But they
wave.
fucking didn't.
Why is U2 in the? What have they ever done? They're not anything new or any. They're just
Like,
nice people.
they-
That's why
they're
people like them.
just
They're like, oh, I can't say
now-
shit about
now
Bono,
fucking
even though
morons.
he's a fucking loser. Who cares? He's a giant piece of shit. It's like 75 Kirks.
They're not, they're,
I don't
they're
know.
not
Here's
even
the
that
thing.
fucking punk rock.
Here's
Johnny
the thing.
Rotten now makes butter commercials and like all this fucking bullshit. He's on reality TV shows. He's not fucking punk rock. That band is not fucking punk rock.
That's what
Nothing
people,
about
I'm
that
pretty
band
sure Iggy
was
Pop,
ever
he brought the
punk
Stooges.
fucking
He's
rock.
in some reality TV shows now and does like weird fucking things to make some money. And they have to do that because Sex Pistols, they're not selling records.
Yeah,
They're selling Doc
Nobody
Martens.
likes them.
They're selling Doc Martens. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, that's why they were fucking formed, was to sell fucking fashion, and it's bullshit. That they are remotely, like, people relate them to punk in any fucking sort,
Here's
because they're not a
something-
fucking good punk band, and they were never really a punk band. They were literally formed to sell, or make
Fair.
fucking money. That is the least punk rock fucking thing in the goddamn world. They were signed to EMI. They were actually signed to multiple fucking, like, major labels in the 2.5 years that they were a fucking band. They were signed to at least 3 major labels. That's not goddamn punk rock.
Well, your criticism of Sex Pistols is valid, but that doesn't.
Damn right
I'm
it's
not-
valid, because they fucking suck.
I'm not saying that, but that doesn't make them overrated.
It does, though. It really fucking
Just because
does,
kids
though.
in high school are like, hey, Sex Pistols, I don't give a fuck. Watch me smoke cigarettes on my skateboard. Like, it's like, I mean, because
The fact that any of us know the name of the band, the Sex Pistols, is fucking bullshit.
they shoot sex at people.
because they
They
fucking
do.
suck. The only reason why like they're remotely as like acclaimed or big as they fucking are is purely controversy that their manager manufactured, and the fact that Sid Vicious fucking killed his girlfriend. If it weren't for like that,
Pretty
nobody
pumped to
would
kill
fucking
your girlfriend,
know.
if you ask me.
No, it's fucking not.
Just saying.
It's a terrible fucking
It
thing
is.
to
It
do.
is pretty punk rock to overdose on heroin, though.
But it's not
That's-
though.
It's way more punk rock.
That's more of a grunge thing, honestly.
It's just a rock and roll. It's just a rock thing, period.
Yeah, they were signed to EMI, Virgin, and Warner Brothers. Like, they're
For their 4 singles and 1 album that you told me about?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You haven't even... Okay. You can sign to any label. I almost signed to labels, but I can just make 1 song. Like, that doesn't... And
they
nobody...
literally existed to fucking make money, and it wasn't even like their idea to make money. It was fucking Malcolm McLaren's idea. He literally made them like a boy band. They came into his shop where he sold clothing and was like, "Oh fuck, the New York Dolls are fucking big. Punk rock might be the next big thing. I'm gonna make a fucking punk band."
You know, and it's funny. It's funny that you say that because, like, these days, especially like with modern pop music, we're so inundated with all these people who are just put out there to make money and here read this song and sing it real good. And you know, the first person to really do that and get over on people's fucking Elvis Presley.
Was he though?
He was.
God damn it.
He's the original pop star, man. And that's
That doesn't make him overrated, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
it does
he has
just
some great
just
songs.
just as well as it makes any fucking. You can name any Ariana Grande or fuck. I don't know what kids listen to these days. Any of the fucking One Direction from 10 years ago, maybe. Like it's all the
Just
same.
because
It's the
he was
same
the first
shit.
pop star, it doesn't make him overrated because nobody gives a shit about him now. Everyone that
I think
liked
you're
Elvis
wrong.
is dead.
See,
Or
I think
dying.
you're wrong because again, he's been dead for like decades and still he has his house. It's the most visited house in the United States besides the president's house.
Yeah, but it's soon to be overtaken by fucking Prince's house.
I don't know about
I mean,
that.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What's Prince's house's name? Does it have something snappy like Graceland?
Prince's house is named.
Isn't it the Purple House?
No.
No,
It
I don't
should
think
be.
so. I want to say it's like the
It's-
compound or something. Paisley Manor.
Something like that.
I think that's totally what it is. It's Paisley Manor.
But it's not.
But anyway, we're not even fucking talking about Prince. It doesn't
It's
fucking
not
matter.
Graceland.
How long do we let them
Because
do
Prince is not overrated.
It's up to you. You're the judge. I usually get them 15 minutes tops and then go into closing.
Alright, close your arguments on this one.
Alright, so Elvis Presley, while he like people loved him and he was like one of the first like just because of the times on your TV and everything, so people latched onto that. But he was the first pop star, although he was singing mostly country and gospel music. He was the first like pop star and is absolutely everything wrong with music from then to now. As an image just put on the TV, and I mean even his movies were fucking terrible. They were just made to sell more records. I mean I'm not going to doubt that the guy gave a shit about music growing up, but everything about his career is picked apart and put back together in all these pop stars today. He's the one who started the manufacturing process. He wasn't a songwriter. At least U2 wrote songs. At least the Sex Pistols wrote songs. Maybe they're not great, but the thing is like I think the Sex Pistols are adequately rated, and I think U2 is fine. They've done their thing for years. People still go to the concerts, but Elvis, he still persists. People Elvis is alive and all this other shit. Elvis impersonators. There's no U2 impersonators. There's no fucking Sex Pistol impersonators in fucking Vegas. And he also started the whole Vegas trend of Celine Dion making millions of dollars, playing a show a week in fucking Vegas in the same building every fucking night. He started all the bullshit with the industry. I mean, not him personally, but everything surrounding him. So that's why Elvis Presley is the most overrated artist.
Okay.
Again, I'm pretty sure U2 out of these 3 is by far the most overrated band or artist. With both of yours, you basically have argued nothing about like the music, mainly that they're a brand or whatever, and that's that doesn't bring acclamation, especially with the Sex Pistols. Like, they have one song everybody knows, and I don't know anybody who's like, Sex Pistols are the best band ever, like, they're the kings of punk or anything. I don't hear that. They just know Sex Pistols, they know Anarchy in the U.S., and they buy a t-shirt and have fucking Nirvana. So in that sense
Anarchy
of
in
the
the US?
question, yeah, whatever. In that sense, I think you're just kind of, like, your argument isn't valid, because I don't think they're as acclaimed as they are. I think they're just kind of mediocre. Everybody knows that. They just kind of helped usher in a bunch of better bands that people realize are better than them. You just have to have somebody kind of make the snowball start the avalanche. With Elvis, you say he doesn't write music. Yes, he does, because even if they're old gospel songs or anything, you have to transpose that to a whole band with guitar and whatnot. He also ushered in rock and roll. You might not agree with that. He's acclaimed as he should be. He brought in this whole new era. People go out and dance. I'm pretty sure he even helped bring like white and black audiences together. It could be wrong. He literally set up the world for the type of music we have and the music industry we have, which isn't the best, but without him, like that we wouldn't have the same thing. So he deserves acclamation for that, and his music's not bad. Like, he has some really good, catchy, little kind of weird country rock songs. U2 hasn't brought anything new to the table. They're just fucking new people. They're nice people. I mean, the Edge fucking sucks. He just uses a bunch of fucking delay pedals and tone differences and stuff like that. I mean, people hate Dragon Force when they like tap, but they're not really tapping. That's what the Edge does. He just doesn't tap. He just plays like some fucking chords in an arpeggio of some sort and kind of delays it, so it sounds like he's doing fucking stuff. Bono's a giant piece of shit. He might be a nice guy, but deep down everybody knows he just sucks. This band shouldn't have 22 Grammys. This band shouldn't be grossing $500 million on a fucking tour because their songs all sound the same. That's why people only know 2 or 3 singles of their 30-year, 40-year almost career. It's just bad. They all have one name. Nobody knows who the drummer or who the bassist is because it's literally just generic fucking rock. They're the most overrated band probably ever.
Okay, so Elvis did not ruin the music industry. As you said, Elvis kind of started the music industry and just pop music and pop culture as a whole.
That's what I said.
Nigga, I ain't talking to you. I'm talking about the dude that picked Elvis as an answer.
I'm like,
And, like, U2 is not overrated. Yeah, their music's mediocre, or at least in my opinion. But, like, they're not overrated. They've had, like you said, a 30-year, almost 40-year fucking career. Elvis had a decently long career, sold fucking mountains of fucking records, toured, both your fucking answers toured and worked their asses off. My band was a band for 2.5 fucking years. Released 4 singles and like 7 other songs. Collectively. And in the fucking, like, they fired their original bass player and hired Sid Vicious, which is the only reason why people know who the fuck they are, is because of all the controversy around that and just their controversy in general. But they fired their original bass player because he liked the Beatles. And in the time period, in the 11-month time period between like them firing the bass player and the band breaking up, they wrote 2 more songs. They fucking sucked. They weren't a fucking band. They did not give a shit about music. But yet, everybody knows their fucking name. Why do we know the name of a band that was a band for 2 fucking years? In the 70s. For no fucking reason. Like, they're fucking bullshit. They were like, oh, we're rebels, anarchy. Well, they didn't promote anarchy. They didn't give a shit about, like, actual revolution or bringing up the upper class. They just gave a fuck about pissing themselves on stage and being fucking dickheads. And it's fucking stupid that, like, people give a shit. And that they inspired any sort of movement. It's fucking stupid, and it's a disgrace to punk rock in general. And, yeah, they're just fucking turds, dude. Like, I have so much other shit written down, but there's not even a point in fucking reading it, because they're just fucking shitty people. And it was all a fucking money ploy.
Is that it?
Sure.
I like how you said turd because one of
Do you want facts?
my U2 thing says Bono giant turd.
Sure. If you've got something relevant, go ahead and give it to me.
I have quite a few. Elvis recorded more than 600 songs in his music career, but did not write a single song.
Oh wow.
G.G. Allin is, in fact, not in the Hall of Fame. Never is. Sex Pistols was essentially founded by a clothing company. Iggy Pop and the Stooges debuted in '67. Pistols were '75. The Clash was actually '77. That surprised me.
They were, but Joe Strummer was originally in a band, the 101ers, that were a band they formed in '74, I think.
Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby are attributed to being the first pop stars. Frank Sinatra in 1939 did not write his own songs. Also, Marvin Gaye didn't write a single song. And
Get out of town.
Diana
Right.
Ross and the Supremes.
I don't even care about
Got
Marvin
anything about
Gaye.
YouTube?
Marvin Gaye
Paisley
sings the
Park?
shit out of
Paisley
YouTube
Park.
was pretty clean.
Okay. Well, I took some notes. I wanted to start by saying that Rainer, like, you made good points about the other two choices, but your argument for U2 was a little bit lacking. I didn't hear anything about us being, like, inundated with that U2 record on iTunes or whatever, which surprised me.
It's on my fucking notes.
I was actually going to bring that up as like no, Elvis never gave me a record.
Literally, just.
Yeah, but nobody.
Oh yeah, no one
Yeah,
gets
so much
excited.
shit on my notes.
No one gets excited for a U2 album release. In fact, they just force one on people.
Yeah, okay. I was surprised you didn't bring that up.
Forgot about notes.
Kyle, I thought you made a really good point about, like, Graceland and all of that, given the fact that Elvis, in fact, did not write any of his music, and a lot of it was just, like, gospel or public domain. You know, like, he got famous singing, like, Amazing Grace, like you said, and there's no reason, in my mind, why, like, Graceland is such a big thing. That does point towards being kind of overrated. But Chris, like, your argument about the Sex Pistols, I thought was really good. Because they were not punk. And everybody, like, anybody, especially people who don't really know anything about punk rock, if you say punk rock, oh, the Sex Pistols, like, that's what they think. And it doesn't make sense because, like you said, they're just manufactured for profit, basically. And the point that you made about them having, like, they're just not prolific. They didn't make that much music. Yeah, I guess they wrote what they put out, but it just wasn't very much, and there's no reason for us to really, for so many people to know who they are based on the fact that they put, what'd you say, like, an album and 4 singles or something?
Yep.
Like that, and they were banned for 2 years.
And they weren't even the first UK band to put out a fucking punk single. It's the goddamn Damned. Who the fuck knows the band The Damned?
I know who the band, the Damned are, but that's because I spent a year in Green Bay. Don't go there.
Yeah, don't go there. It sucks. Been there. It's awful.
Don't go to Green Bay. You won't have a good time, especially in the winter.
Packers fans can suck it.
Honestly, everybody did a good job, but I'm gonna give a point to Chris.
Fuck you guys.
I just want to reiterate, I've never seen any Sex Pistols impersonators.
Well,
It's because they're
okay,
Right,
but
right.
Elvis
It's still
was
alive
considered-
too.
Elvis was considered very attractive. No,
Which is
member-
weird. By at least like growing up, I remember my aunts like were still in love with Elvis, and I was like, he looks. I mean, to each his own.
His
Everybody's
later
pretty to
life
somebody.
was pretty.
Young Elvis
Also,
was pretty.
Young Elvis
Also,
was
if
pretty.
I were arguing a
He was
pro
a
Sex
ticket with a
Pistols
pump
argument, if I was arguing a pro Sex Pistols argument, I could argue every other UK punk band after the Sex Pistols was, in fact, a Sex Pistols impersonator.
I can see that.
We're gonna take like a 3-minute break because I forgot to take my medication today and I have to go do that. But congratulations, Chris.
Good
on
job,
winning that
Chris.
point.
It's the only point you're going to
Probably.
get.
Sarah? Okay.
One of my answers is going to blow you.
God, I'm upset I wrote so much shit down on this paper.
See, you're all. That's the thing. You always make all these notes.
But all these notes, and then I
That's-
keep mental notes of like random things that don't bother reading anything.
Right.
But I have like
Because it's hard to create a
Half
structure
my
where you can
notes-
like weave in and out of your notes.
Half my notes are quotes about like from either fucking Malcolm McLaren or fucking Johnny Rotten.
See, I like
Oh,
while
and I had this thing I wanted to read as the closing, but it doesn't matter.
I feel like to rival your argument more, I should have brought up like more talk about how big of a piece of shit Elvis was.
God, you said Elvis, and I was like, fuck. I don't know what to say about that.
My notes literally just say they suck. YouTube sucks.
I don't know why I didn't
YouTube
say Elvis. 'Cause
sucks.
Elvis is literally my least favorite like musician of all time.
Well, see, I
think that's probably why I didn't think of it. 'Cause
I
I just
bounced-
try to pretend.
Because he's not overrated to you. You just hate him.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like because like when I saw that question, the ones who immediately pop into my head are Elvis and the Beatles. But the
Whoa,
Beatles,
I would have fucked you in the ass.
but the Beatles,
Literally.
I want to be bigger than the Beatles and bigger than wrestling.
but
Bigger than cigarettes and bigger than breast implants.
but the thing about the Beatles is at least their solo material in particular, they're all like established decent musicians.
Say their solo material?
Was way better than the Beatles.
Well, see, here's the difference here. John Lennon was he did his stuff. George Harrison kind of did. Ringo, who gives a fuck. Paul McCartney always is just in the band. Like he did Wings. He did. I don't even want to talk like that. I'm upset now. I even thought.
But
of
see,
it.
the thing
We're
is,
gonna talk about that.
I feel like that's why I went with Elvis because he has less of a leg to stand on, as it were.
He met Priscilla when she was 14.
See, I was going to bring up him being a pedo.
No,
Yeah.
It was the 50s.
she was 14.
I
Was
just said it was the
Like,
50s.
Jerry Lee Lewis was just like, hey man, you know what I did?
God damn.
Yeah, I will admit, Jerry Lee Lewis should be the king of rock and roll.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Jerry Lee Lewis or Chuck Berry.
Yeah, I mean that's
I
the
lean
thing.
more.
Chuck-
I lean more Jerry Lee though.
Like
Chuck-
Chuck
Chuck-
Fox.
In the 50s and 60s in particular, like
I can tell you why
it's
Chuck
like there's
Berry
so
is
many
not.
more.
Like,
Is it
it's-
the poop cameras?
Who, Chuck Berry?
Was that him? That's
No, I'm.
Didn't he have
was
chicken
black.
restaurants and
That's,
yeah,
cameras
that's
in the
the
bathroom?
number one issue.
well, yeah, but like that was, but like in the 50s and 60s, like there's so many, and obviously Elvis's, his career went into like the 70s and stuff, but like it's particularly like in the 60s and whatnot. There were so many like better rock and roll like musicians and like,
Say,
he was not
Even
even
if
really
you were
rock and
And
Oh,
roll.
I
that's
think
right
he
off
even
the
said like
kitchen
movies like
table.
South
What?
Pacific.
Can you grab the
Pretty sure he was
ashtray
in
off the
that
kitchen
when it
table?
came out.
Yeah.
That pretty much like solidified his career because musicals and stuff were kind of
Right.
like a big deal.
Well, that's what like all the movies were vehicles for his music, or to like it's like you talk about sellouts today. It's like that was selling out is modeled on fucking this dude's career. It's like you want to be.
He brought the music
you want to make
industry
Elvis.
to fruition. That's what he did. That's
Well, here's the thing though. I mean, his voice was good, but you could replace him with pretty much anybody with a decent voice that looked half decent. Is the same thing. I mean, the same thing with the cookie cutter shit these days.
all right. The next one.
Yep.
I'm pumped. Pumped to lose this one too.
No, I told Chris that he's that's the only point he's going to get. We're going to run it now.
Because
We'll see.
oh lord,
He's prepared.
You need to remember your goal to break
Notes.
Kyle's fucking streak.
I'm trying.
Notes,
I'm trying.
notes are distractions.
I'm trying.
I don't even
It
know
won
what
him the
much
first
is.
point.
Trust me, I don't. I used to use notes. I don't use notes anymore.
What?
I had to do it just to remember
Next
what
question.
the album's called. Honestly,
All right, you guys were asked to give me a single that grossly misrepresented the rest of the album.
Yeah.
Who chose this question?
Chris,
Chris, all right, you first.
you'll get it.
I chose a song that everyone in this room knows. Given I'm hoping we all chose songs that everyone in this room knows, because then you're just fucking up in general. But I chose the song "Fly" by Sugar Ray, appearing on the 1997 album "Floored."
Okay. Okay.
So am I next or you next?
You're next
I'm next.
because it'll.
So I went with Backseat Freestyle from Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City, and I'll talk more about why here in a minute.
I picked a song where nobody's probably even thought they had an album. I picked "Steal My Sunshine" by Lem. Let me tell you. Woo!
Actually, before you even start, was Backseat? I mean, I'm assuming it probably is because you picked it, but I really thought it was on fucking Section 80.
No,
Facts. Matt.
On
We got Matt looking it up.
it's Good Kid, Mad City.
Is it?
It's called Backseat.
I mean,
Backseat Freestyle?
it would make sense within the concept of the album. I just, for some reason in my mind, it's not on that album.
Well,
It
on
makes
that
sense within the concept of the
on
album.
that point, that sounds awesome. Your song, like, and here's why I think mine is the best
What album
because
did you say?
Good Kid, Mad City.
with
Like,
when
I've
it-
listened to that album so many times.
when it comes to hip hop albums, there's a lot, and I'm not a big hip hop guy. I'm not at all. There's a lot of different takes in albums. There's interludes that they do. There's all this. So in my mind, I don't even know this single. I don't think like to me is a bigger hit.
Let me
than both
explain.
Of
Let me
these.
explain. Like,
I just don't think that like just off my head listening to hip hop albums, nothing kind of like changes within it. The beats might change, the style might change, stuff like
You
that.
just don't like rap,
So
so like that,
no.
Well,
There's
let me
different.
explain why this completely misrepresents the album. Now, in the context of the album, when you're listening to the album,
Yeah,
it makes
it's a
sense.
concept album, so like I don't.
It makes sense when you're listening to the album, but as a single, it misrepresents the album, and here's why. Because Good Kid, Mad City, the entire album, like you said, it's a concept album, and it is actually talking about the pitfalls and the dangers of everything around him, growing up in Compton and stuff like that. If you listen to Backseat Freestyle as a single, the only inkling you have of that context is when he starts out the song, he says, Martin had a dream, Kendrick has a dream, and then he makes an entire parody of it. Now, when taken in context of the album, it makes sense, but the single itself, all my life I want money and power, respect my mind or die for lead showers, I pray my dick get big as the Eiffel Tower so I can fuck the world at 72
Yeah, I honestly think you just shot your argument in the foot by saying in the context of the album, it makes a lot of sense. This is supposed to be
but it
what
misrepresents-
misrepresents.
But the-
misrepresents the album.
misrepresents
It
what
fits
the album
perfectly within
does.
that album. I would almost like argue
No,
as
as
a
a
single
single-
off that album that misrepresents that album more would be fucking Swimming Pools.
Well, the Backseat Free, all the singles on it misrepresent the fucking album because it looks like you're glorifying drinking and
And
partying
it's-
and drugs and Maseratis and damn I got
And-
bitches,
and-
damn I got
Yeah, but
bitches.
the
Like,
concept of that album is about a young kid in Compton riding around in a car with his friends.
And any concept album I can think of, like
And
I'll-
that song is from the perspective of a young kid in the backseat of
but
a
it's a
car.
parody. It's a parody. Well, not a straight out parody,
It's
but
satire.
but yeah, and. You
The
don't
entire
like
album
if you
is
listen. If you
satirical.
listen to that song, you just take that song as the single. It completely misrepresents the album because you're like, yeah, this is a party song. This is yeah, damn, I got bitches, hell yeah. You know what I mean? But that's not what the album's about at
No,
all.
every song on that album comes off as a party song unless you look at the lyrical content. Every fucking, like, Swimming Pools. The Swimming Pools actually, I believe,
And
was
he's
the
sober.
first single off that fucking album.
And Kill My Vibe, Kill My Vibe to
Kill
a
My
lesser
Vibe's like
extent.
jam.
But like, because Kendrick's sober, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke weed,
Yeah.
he doesn't fucking.
But, like, every song on that album is a party anthem because it's presented that way to get a fucking audience to listen to it. And then once they listen to it and realize, oh, fuck, he's saying shit.
and with the concept album, like
I want to
even,
know
like,
your fucking shit.
Oh
'Cause
yeah. But back
Steal My
before
Sunshine
we
is
get
my
there,
fucking jam.
before we
I
get
wanna hear
there,
it.
concept albums. It's kind of like when Coheed had that one single, "Favorite House Atlanta."
No, fuck Cody. Fuck Cody. I want to hear your shit right now.
All right, so
We're
Len,
gonna go with my shit.
Steal My Sunshine is an album. It's called "You Can't Stop the Bum Rush." Now that Steal My Sunshine is kind of like this like weird cash in to like a '90s alternative
Do you know that-
pop
do you know that
rock
sample?
sort of thing.
Do you know that
It
sample?
doesn't matter what the sample is because what
I
I'm
know that
talking
sample.
about is in this album,
Could be an
it is all over the place. They have like 2 or 3 songs that sound like Sugar Hill Gang, like hip hop, like just super old school, like sort of hip hop with just
Why
like
would you
simple,
not
simple
assume,
beats.
based on So
But-
Much Sunshine, that there would be hip hop influence in it?
But not like that. You'd think it'd be more poppier or like more like, this 90s alternative, late 1999 late alternative pop sort of thing, kind of like Sugar Ray
was
did.
all focused on like
Sugar Ray did.
hip hop.
But then they have like 2 songs that like aren't that. They're back to that,
I'm
and
sorry,
it's
what were you
not.
saying about Sugar Ray?
And then they cashed in on some 90s alternative pop music bullshit. So what I'm saying is this album
Exactly,
does it
that's
too.
my point.
They have songs that are like make it sound like it's a live album, but it's not. They just like make the crowd be like interacting with everything, and they're not even like fucking singing a song, but it's a song at the same time. And then throw in this whole song in German. They're from fucking Canada. There's no reason to have a song in German. Like, who the fuck's gonna think that's there when you listen to "Steal My Sunshine"? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And even, like,
No, that
and nobody's
sounds-
ever listened to this album. I guarantee if you go on their Wikipedia page, there's not even a picture of Len on their page. It's just, like, this song talking about this single that they had. And, like, that's all people know about them because all their other music kind of sucks. And that song is so poppy and fun, and it's a one-hit wonder, and the whole album, I listen to it, makes no sense.
So
It's
your
not
argument,
at
your
all
argument
what I
why
said.
that misrepresents it is because they're a one-hit wonder.
No, because if you hear that
But
song
here's the thing, if
and you
their
think
album
that's
is-
what the
if their
album's going to
album's
be
all-
like, it's not at all.
But if
There's
their album
nothing
is,
in that album
if their
like
album's
that
all
song.
over the place and it incorporates all these different things, why wouldn't it be there?
Because if you listen to that, this is how you get a single, you hear it on radio, it becomes a big fucking, like, to-do. Everybody knows this song. You're going to think, oh, a lot of these songs might sound like that. You might find one, you might find two. There's not a single song that sounds like that. Nobody knows who Len is. Nobody gives a shit who Len is. Nobody can even tell you if I get on the street, hey, who sings Steal My Sunshine? Nobody's going to say it's Len. They'll be like, I don't know, just, Steal My Sunshine. Vitamin C, maybe. I don't fucking know. That's what they're going to think.
Sublime.
That's what they're going to think. There's nothing on this album like that. It misrepresents everything about it. They come across trying to sell like an alt-rock, pop, sort of 90s vibe, and it's not that at all. It's just big cash-in. It's the first fucking song on the album, so it catches you, and then you're like, what the fuck happened here? Like, this is not what I wanted.
So Sugar Ray. So fucking Fly was their first fucking number one hit. It was on the fucking Billboard Top 100 fucking chart for 4 consecutive weeks, spending fucking like 8 weeks at number one on the Hot Modern Rock fucking track chart. But fucking Fly is a pop rock song. If you listen to the rest of that album and their work prior to releasing that song, they were a new metal group.
That's where
They're a fucking
they have
new-
turntables. They got turntables.
Yeah, because they're a new metal group.
Well,
But that song is
it
pop
has-
rock
it
and
has
fucking
turntables.
reggae. It was released with a reggae artist on it. It's not a. The rest of that album is a new metal fucking alternative rock album. That song is a fucking pop song. They released it because they were getting dropped by their fucking label. Fucking Mark McGrath personally wanted the band to be fucking heavier. He wanted the band to sound more like Korn.
That sure
it was
happened
like-
later on in Sugar Ray's careers.
No, the song fucking came out. It was a fucking smash hit, and that's entirely why they changed their sound. That's why Sugar Ray became the fucking pop group that we all know them as. But prior to that fucking release of that song, they were a fucking new metal group. The rest of that album is a new metal album, from fucking front to back, with a fucking pop song in the middle for no reason.
because
How many fucking soccer moms heard that song on the fucking radio, bought that album, heard the fucking first song, the RPM, with the fucking and was like, what the fuck did I just buy? A lot. Because that album went double platinum, and it fucking sold, and nobody bought that album because they were like, I fucking love new metal.
new
But
They
see,
thought they were
that-
buying a goddamn
but, like,
pop
even
album.
with that, if it misrepresented, it went double platinum. That means that people were like, okay, that was one song. The other stuff is better. Like
No,
with
they
Len,
should-
nobody was
no.
like, I'm gonna buy the next Len album. Really, I'm gonna go listen to their other music.
If
That didn't happen. Nobody
yeah,
fucking
because
cared.
you picked a one-hit wonder.
That misrepresents the entire
Dude,
album
you're
and
talking about
everything.
Sugar Ray.
No, fucking
Sugar Ray's not one hit.
Yeah,
wonder.
they're definitely not.
Mark McGrath had a career, but Sugar Ray didn't.
No. They, after the release of Fly, they changed their entire sound and became a pop rock group.
Mark McGrath and the Sugar Rays. Well, they
There was the fucking song
Featuring Darius
Someday. What was the fucking?
I love that song.
They had other fucking number one hits. I don't have.
Well, here's the
fucking
thing about
written
new
down
metal
because I'm not
bands.
talking about albums past this.
Here's
We're
the
talking
thing
about
about
this fucking album.
There's plenty of new metal bands that have fucking pop singles. Look at fucking Limp Bizkit and Behind Blue Eyes. Okay.
Who was
They have
listening
a-
to Limp Bizkit at that fucking point in time? And also, that song came out. It was a cover for the goddamn Gothica soundtrack. We're not talking about Limp Bizkit. We're talking about Sugar Ray and the
They
fact that they were a
covered,
fucking
they
new metal
covered
band.
George Michael, who is a pop star.
Yeah, but they didn't do a fucking pop rendition of that. This song's fucking heavy as shit.
But
Talk shit about Limp
it
Bizkit.
might
I was
misrepresent
fucking
it, but at least like the whole rest of the album is the same thing. So you hear that first song, you're
Yeah,
like, okay.
and the question
Then you
was,
wait for
the question
RPM.
was, what single most grossly misrepresents an
Len
album?
Steal My Sunshine. There's
No,
nothing like it on
it's
the
a fucking
entire
new
album.
metal album. It's a
There's not even one
alternative rock
two
new metal
songs that
fucking
sound
album.
anything like each other in this whole album I listen to. At least yours has like cohesion and like does this. It might be misrepresented, but you can still kind of get the new metal vibe in the song with
There's
the
no
nice
new metal
jockey
vibe in
and
the
stuff like
fucking-
that. And like they're singing, there's nothing.
Until
There's
I
turntables.
said they were a new metal band, you did not know they were a new metal band.
I did. I've heard you say this many a time.
Yeah. So you should have fucking been prepared and picked a better fucking shit, because you should have
No,
known what I was going
but
with.
no, I shouldn't, because you could have picked anything. Again, like most of these questions, there's lots of songs that totally misrepresent what a band's doing. I almost went with Modest Mouse because I heard fucking Good News for Bad News, and I hated it because it wasn't like that one song that they had. Fucking.
But is it on the same album? No, because bands change over fucking
Hold on,
time.
it was completely different. The whole thing. It misrepresented what I thought the album would be as a kid, never hearing Modest Mouse before. It misrepresented what I thought the sound would be. This, if I heard that, and I was like, well, that's kind of cool. Like, that's not what I expected. Like, people are going to be happy about that sometimes. It went double platinum. It might misrepresent it, but it didn't fucking kill it. This album, I'm telling you, has nothing like Steel
It killed their
Sunshine
career
at
as a
all.
new metal group to the point that they formed, or not even formed, but changed their entire sound to pop rock.
You're just mad because Sugar Ray sold out, dude. That's all this is.
I don't give a fuck. I'm saying I picked the fucking correct answer for the goddamn question.
I just don't. Even if that's the
It's
first
a
song, that
pop
means that
song
people
playing a new metal album.
listen to that, and that's fine. As long as they keep listening. Mine is the first fucking song of the album, and then you go and you're like, "What the fuck is this? This is pretty bad. Whatever. Why are they fucking speaking German?
I
Why are
imagine
they?
the first song on the
Why is
album,
there
I
a
guess,
live?
an intro wouldn't be
Why
bad.
is there
Yeah,
why
man,
is there
it's
this
fucking
live
intro.
track where they're trying to make it sound like it's a concert? Why are people in this album that aren't even really in this album? They just kind of stole. Why are they dressed as cartoons?
You
I
just
don't.
But
You just
you're
don't get
entirely
it.
stating
You just
that
don't
like
get
you
it,
don't
man.
understand the album. So
Because it
therefore,
misrepresents it.
that
It
song
doesn't. That
misrepresents
song
the
is
album.
nothing like the album. It's
you guys
not.
are
it's
rehashing
not
the
it.
same points. Can I get your closings?
I don't know what else to say other than the things I've already said. They were fucking getting dropped from Atlantic Records. They released their first album in '94, I believe, Lemonade and Brownies. Also another fucking alternative rock. Less of the fucking new metal sound on that album, but it's still a heavier album because Mark McGrath personally wanted to progress the band in a heavier direction. And the label was like, no, we need something for radio play. So they wrote Fly. And that song took the fuck off to the point that the guy that was quitting the band because he wanted the band to be heavier continued with the fucking pop rock direction for the rest of his fucking career. Sugar Ray still makes albums to this day. They came out with an album 2019, pop rock album.
Let's check that one
It's
out.
called Little Yachty.
What?
Is
Yeah,
it,
really.
It is,
is it
it is.
featuring Lil Yachty at any point?
It's like that Weezer album had Lil Wayne, probably.
But it's fucking, like, they changed their entire sound based on a single. And once again, it's if you listen to the rest of the album, like, if we weren't having this conversation, I could play you any other song off this album and be like, what band is this? You would never fucking guess it. Because they were a fucking heavy band, but everyone knows them for their pop single off this album. And your shit, I don't see it as misrepresenting an album that just seems eclectic and everywhere. Given I haven't heard the album, everyone's heard that song because that song's a bop, but I've never like gone out of my way to listen to other shit because they're a one-hit wonder. Everyone knows they're a one-hit wonder. Backseat Freestyle, I don't see it as misrepresenting that album, but I also love that album and I'm a dire fan of hip-hop and like I sit down and I don't like I would never sit down and just listen to the singles off that album. You sit down, you put that song on from track one, fucking what is it, Shireen, track one, and you fucking play it all the way through because it's a concept album and it's fucking beautiful and that song fits on that album. It's literally Backseat Freestyle. The album is about him borrowing his fucking mom's van. The interludes throughout the entire album where his mom calling him, "Bring my van back, Kenny. Bring my van back, Kenny." Him being in the backseat rapping about like young black shit and how like he wants money and power fits within that album entirely. I'm done.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm pretty sure Steal My Sunshine is the most misrepresented single from an album that we're talking about. But to go to Kyle's concept album, like Chris is harping on, you can pick any single from that, and it might misrepresent at the time, but once you listen to the album, you kind of get it. I was going to talk about Coheed. They got big based off one single that they had, Favorite House Atlantic. That's a complete concept band. Everything is based on the same thing. So out of context, it might misrepresent the rest of their sound. They're a little heavy, kind of like what you're harping on with Sugar Ray, but they can be poppy, whatever. A concept album is going to be always misrepresented. I could use Rush as an example, things like that. They're always concepts. It's always a little different. Even Pink Floyd, they have a single. It doesn't really follow like by itself, but in the structure of the album, it makes a lot of sense. It doesn't misrepresent it. With yours, just because a band is fucking going to lose their label and they still go out and make this fucking new metal album and then put a pop song in, I have no problem with that, especially when you tell me the first song isn't even that song, so you don't even like immediately get misrepresented by that song and then hear the rest. You hear that song and you listen, it's probably the third or fourth track, I don't know this album that well. And then you get to it and you're like, oh, I kind of like this. And it went double platinum, for Christ's sake. That's a fucking lot of sales. Like, it might have misrepresented, but it didn't cause any panic or like this or that or like this album sucks, anything like that. With Len, Steal My Sunshine, you hear this fucking 90s sellout pop, rock, alt-rock sort of thing, which they label it as they want it to be. And then you get in, you hear like Sugar Hill Gang fucking songs. You hear a song in goddamn, like I said, German, because they were trying to incorporate the krautrock sound, which in a hip-hop album with like live tracks that they're not even live, they just put in like stuff like that. You're not expecting that when you listen to the Steal My Sunshine and then it goes to this German shit, blah blah blah. It just misrepresents the whole thing. Nobody fucking cares about Lynn. Didn't matter. They sold out and they had to sell an album nobody listened to, nobody fucking cared about it. It just misrepresents them as a fucking band. As an album, as anything, it's nothing like anything else. You said it might be eclectic, but again, that still misrepresents this band. You'd think it might sound like Steal My Sunshine because nobody's ever heard of Lynn before. So there you go. Steal My Sunshine misrepresents that album completely.
Here's the thing, though. Like I said and like Chris said, just if you have an album and every song is completely different, any song you can make the same argument about, and I don't think that's fair in that context. And Chris is just mad about like, see, I think of both your cases. You're talking about albums where it's like they made a poppy single and Sugar Ray sold out. So like I think because here's something that you guys have argued against me, like the concept album, and it fits perfectly in the album. It does fit perfectly in the album, but the question isn't what doesn't fit on the album, what song shouldn't be on the album. It's what misrepresents the album. And when you listen to, like you said, you could pick not any song off of Good Kid, Mad City, but most of the songs, a lot of the singles, they seem like party songs when that's not what the album's about. And like I said, he starts off the song, Martin Had a Dream, Kendrick Had a Dream, and then as a single, if you only hear that single, you don't understand why. You don't understand what he's talking about because the rest of the song has nothing to do with that. He says he's just saying stupid shit. I want my dick get big as the Eiffel Tower so I can fuck the world for 72 hours.
Damn, I got it.
And like it seems like just some stupid hip hop track or something. Get wild and whatever. But that's not what the album's about at all. And yeah, it fits in the context of the album. But like I said, it's not about what song shouldn't have been on that album. What misrepresents the album as a single. And if you hear that as a single, you think it's a party album, and it's not a party album. It's about the pitfalls of living in Compton, growing up in Compton, gangbangers and fucking drugs and women and cars and all the fucking hip hop tropes and shit. And like I said, yours is just an eclectic mix of all kinds of different things put together. You could pick any one of them and say the same thing. And they made a fucking pop song and everybody liked it. And your guys made a pop song and everybody liked it. And like mine, it just completely like that. The point of the whole album is missed by if you just listen to the single. I'm done.
Okay, so first of all, Kyle, I see where you're coming from, but if every song on the album is like that, like you could just pick it out, listen to it, and not know what the album is about, then you could have picked any song on that album. I do understand the point that you're making, though. Raynard, everybody likes Steal My Sunshine. Yeah, nobody knows who the fuck.
It's just hippies breaking out the didgeridoos and Raynard's pissed off about it.
Nobody knows who Lynn is except for like the people in this room. I guess I probably would have known.
Now you know.
No, I knew, but I'm in
I was
there.
trying real hard to think of any other song there.
Well, yeah, but that's that's a point in favor of Rayner's case is that you can't think of one because there just wasn't. So I understand your argument too, but again, if the album's so eclectic that you could have picked any song off of it and it would have misrepresented the rest of the songs, then perhaps it wasn't the best choice. Now, I don't have anything to say against Chris's argument because if the album that he's talking about, what was the name of it?
Floored. Followed up by 1459, which also they weren't a one-hit wonder because 1459 went triple platinum.
I was going to point
Wasn't-
out that
wasn't
that
it?
is a brilliant name.
1459?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
Because
Everybody
everyone
said
thought
that
they
they
were
were
gonna
going to
be
be a
a one-hit
one-hit wonder in
And
15 minutes of fame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never said they were
That's
a
cute.
one-hit wonder.
Sounds cute. But no, if like the entire rest of that album was consistently strictly new metal, and then Fly is just in the middle of it, which I didn't listen to the album, but if that's the case, then that is a gross misrepresentation, which is what I asked. All of you tried, but Chris made the best argument. You should probably, guys, do your research.
I also want to point out that Rayner was not lying when he said if you go to Lynn's Wikipedia page, there is no picture, and it literally just talks about that one song and like who was in it. Like, not even talks about who was in it, just lists who was in it.
Right.
Also, counterpoint to your closing argument, given I won the point, but it doesn't matter. Both our albums came out in the fucking 90s. So people would have heard our songs before hearing the album on the radio and bought the album based on the single. Because there was no streaming bullshit.
He has a
There's no
computer.
way to
He's
hear the album.
colluding.
I don't know how that's against his counterpoint. I think that's kind of the point he was trying to make, which was also the point you made about Sugar Ray, but it doesn't matter because you already won the
Nope,
point.
time to lose this point too.
Okay, there's two more questions before we hit the speed round.
If we have one.
I'm going for a fucking hat trick, fellas.
Yeah, if Chris gets all of these, he wins.
Yeah.
We still have to do.
Nah, it's to 4.
I worked
to
really,
5. It's
really
to 5.
hard.
Okay,
Oh,
okay. I
you're
forgot
a
about
fan,
that.
Rainer.
I forgot about that.
I worked really hard on the.
We
blind
will
test.
have to do that. We will have to do that.
So we're doing it.
All right.
Okay, the next question was about collaborations. You had to
No,
imagine.
no, we're doing the songwriter.
No, it's collab.
Oh, okay.
Collab,
Okay.
songwriting.
It's not up to you, Rainer.
Okay. Okay.
You're the one who
You
told me
forgot
to
the question
switch
you
'em. So what the fuck? Get your head on straight.
That is right. I'm not even that drunk at all. Like,
Okay.
You're doing great, Rayner.
I'm just losing, and I hate it.
Doing terrific.
So you guys had to give me an imaginary collaboration between two artists that you'd like to see that's never been done before or mentioned. It had to be completely out of your head. Who picked this question? Kyle?
Me.
You? Rainer? Okay. Go ahead.
All right, so I bring to you a new style of music. I will call it Jazz Industrial E-Loungetronic music. Mindless self-indulgence meets Richard Cheese
I would.
in
I would.
Self-Indulging in Dick Cheese.
Self-indulgent dick.
in Dick Cheese.
Self-indulgent dick cheese.
Self-indulging in Dick Cheese.
I don't know why the end's there. Self-indulgent dick cheese sounds great.
Just in.
It's just in there.
There's a whole tub of.
It's just in there. It's just in there. It's just in there.
Is it IN or the letter N?
It's IN. We're proper here. Jazz Industrial. Got to have some, decency.
I.
Who's next?
You.
Me.
Yes.
I went with a collaboration that would rock soul music to its core and would slap Beyonce's crown off her head and give it to Erykah Badu and Lauryn Hill.
Oh, fuck you.
Chris?
You did that purposely.
I was like, I'm gonna fuck Chris's shit up.
I was literally listening to the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill before you like got here. Like,
We were. I never heard it. I was like,
it.
this is really good.
It is really good. It won't, well, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
You don't want to say it now.
No, I'm gathering. Sorry, I was trying to.
I had to argue
fuck, I'm
against
gonna fuck this guy
Seinfeld
up.
one time, so like, that was tough.
Yeah, that's the approach I'm gonna have to take. Is Seinfeld fucking sucks. So my collaboration is something that I don't know if the world's ready for it, but the world is ready for it. Hope you guys are ready for it. It's if this were to happen, it would be fucking massive. So goddamn good. Kendrick Lamar, because he's the GOAT, and Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem. Which, if nobody's familiar with
All right, no, I got you. All right, so
I was going to explain to you. Okay, let's hear it, Rainer.
So with yours, Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem have actually, if we get into like the lore or whatever, have collaborated with people like Kendrick Lamar. They have collaborated with artists such as Paul Simon. I'm thinking
That's nothing like
maybe-
that.
no. I'm just naming the famous people. They've done with Prince. They probably have done something with maybe Coolio. I'll tell you, that's probably a lie. But like that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you want to use
Paul McCartney, Ozzy Osbourne, Prince, Alice Cooper. But the thing is not like what's a collab that's never been done before. It's just a collab between two people that hasn't happened.
But they have to have some sort of hip hop sort of collaboration before. So I think yours is just like collaborating two great people the same thing. That's easy. Nobody's ever like with. I think
Honestly,
with mine. Mine is the
I
most
sat down and looked
original.
at it. They've never actually done anything remotely fucking hip hop, which is bullshit because Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem are funk.
They could
fucking
easily
jazz
they could easily do that. But again, like that makes sense. With mine,
It makes sense. That's why I picked it.
I'm taking two kind of niche artists that have nothing in common and making this whole fusion of fantastic
I hate to break
jazz
it to you.
and
I
industrial.
hate to break it. Mindless Self-Indulgence
music.
isn't a fucking band anymore.
That-
So that's not going to happen. I
Yeah,
hate
that
to break
doesn't
it.
matter. I mean, if you want to get into it, Animal kind of left Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem in the newest Muppet movie because they had to have Dave Grohl in there playing for Animal because he fucking left it. So they're not a band anymore either. They're a collaborative. So with mine, I think it just brings two niche kind of people together, and I feel like people like Richard Cheese and that sort of like cover style music where it's just like off the walls, makes no sense. And then Mindless Self-Indulgence,
How
which
many Grammys
literally
do you think you'll win
makes
with
no.
that?
I don't have to win Grammy. I want to sell out small venues like. People are going to go to the fucking V Club and see goddamn Richard Cheese and Mindless Self-Indulgence.
I mean,
they're
we
going to
can
go
go
see
see it.
what the hell is this? And you know what? They're not even going to release singles. They're just going to have music out there. Be like, we collaborated. We have an album. They might like throw like 20 seconds here and there, and it'll just be intros of songs. But just the idea of Richard Cheese and whatever his band is called with like their jazz lounge thing, and then that just industrial electronic sound fusing together just sounds so absurd that it would work. I feel like they can make their own songs. They could even cover each other's songs some way. Like it's just a
They're
great
gonna do
collaboration.
Covers?
Yours
Why not?
is just the
Shit
same
people
thing.
will buy.
It's just the same thing, and that's fine. But it's not very imaginative. It's not like I guarantee you somebody saw it like these two would be great together. Yours, I guarantee you somebody's been like, oh man. Fuck yeah, the Muppets band, fucking all that funk, and Animal, who's not in the band anymore if you want to bring that up. He ends up getting back in the band.
Yeah.
But
So
he left.
Ends up
But
getting
I'm
back
just
in the
saying.
band, so he's in the band.
But it's just, that makes a lot of sense. Mine doesn't. It's more imaginative.
Dude.
Nobody's ever thought that this would be a
Erykah
thing.
Badu
The
and
question
Lauryn
as
Hill.
written was best idea, and that's a terrible idea.
No, it's a great idea. It's so niche and just absurd that it's a great idea.
It's
That's
an
a lot.
original.
Fucking world together, okay?
The
They-
only
that-
issue with that is like I don't know how close it is, but I'm assuming they probably don't fucking like each other. To be honest.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about
Because the type of
Lauryn
music
Hill
they
working,
make, the
Lauryn
type
Hill
of music
working
they-
with Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu is gonna like they're gonna work together.
No, they're gonna fucking butt
no.
heads.
Erykah Badu is gonna get Lauryn Hill to come back to reality a little bit and bring it and rein it in a little bit.
You
and
know
they're
what?
gonna work
You know
together.
what brought fucking Lauryn Hill back to reality? Spending 2 years in prison for not paying her fucking taxes. That brought her back to reality.
Miseducation, Lauryn Hill, man. What do you expect, dude? There's going to be so much soul.
I don't know of like a reason for them to not like, but I almost guarantee they don't fucking like.
Like
it.
as smart as they are,
they
like,
haven't
musically,
fucking
yeah.
done
I don't
anything
think
music
I think that's a valid point.
like Kendrick
And,
Lamar and the
Lauryn
Muppets
Hill
are
is
hanging out.
retired from
Like,
music. She doesn't do music anymore. That's why
she's not officially.
No,
fully
she
retired.
recently came back to fucking do a handful of fucking concerts in like 2018 because once again she spent 2 years in jail for
And
not paying her taxes.
she's
She made
always
that
like
fucking money.
she's always officially working on music. She is like,
But they're going to butt heads. If one butts heads, the other is going to butt heads. Yours, with the fucking Dr. Teeth and Electric Man, that's just a bunch of studio musicians. They're not even going to be the same original band. They're just going to go find studio
Yeah,
musicians.
that's why they
It's not going to work.
That's why they get together for a benefit concert in Compton to benefit fucking music and arts programs.
Because
promote children.
kids in Compton love the Muppets. They fucking love them.
Kids in
That's their favorite
My own
fucking
happy
puppet
yes.
thing.
Kids in Compton love Kendrick Lamar.
And then they're gonna Dr. Teeth, and they're gonna see some guy with fucking teeth and orange face, and like just some Muppets, and that lady that has no eyes. Is just
Also, this doesn't
fun.
even have to just be like a benefit concert. They could do an album together and donate the proceeds to some fucking charity. Or fucking Disney could bring back the Muppets fucking show and Kendrick Lamar could just be a fucking guest.
They've
on the
already
fucking Muppet
brought
show.
back the Muppet Show, and it failed because they tried to do an Office thing. They tried to make a movie,
Yeah,
couple
but I'm
movies, and
talking
they
about
had
bringing
great
back
writing.
the Muppet Show, like the original Muppet
They-
Show when it was a variety show with musical guests and all that bullshit.
Variety shows don't work anymore.
This isn't regular real dumb.
But like I'm just saying, like it's impossible. There's no way that will work. It's a great idea, but there's just
What do you mean there's no
I
way
just-
that...
Because
I
it's
just
just
gave you
gonna,
three ways it could
they're
fucking
just going to
work.
switch out musicians the whole time. At least mine will be a band. They might have to like bring Mindless Self-Indulgence back together, but they'll be like, God damn, I
So-
can play with Richard Cheese. That sounds like fun. Let's see what we can do.
So
We're
Kendrick's going to be
musicians.
rapping G-rated over the Muppets. Is that how
Yeah.
does this work? Because I don't like.
Kendrick's smart enough, he doesn't need the fucking custom his shit to sell records.
Is it Will Smith?
But
Nobody's outsold Will Smith, and he's smarter than Will Smith. Well, actually, I don't know that for a fact, so I'm gonna...
but the thing
There's
here's
no way to
Can
fact
you
check
fact
that.
check
There's
if
no way
Kendrick
to
Lamar
fact
Actually,
is
hold on.
smart?
Will Smith is...
What are their ACT
Correct.
scores? What are they?
is Kendrick Lamar going to be rapping the ABCs? Like, is this going to be? Because
No, okay. Kendrick Lamar...
Kendrick Lamar fans don't want to listen to the Muppets, man.
Kendrick
And-
Lamar predominantly releases pro-black music, but this will be a fucking album about how color doesn't matter, and what matters is community, unity, and working to fucking together.
And great
It's a
puppetry.
black guy with a fucking orange dude and a green dude and some fucking furry drummer dude that's like the best drummer of all time, and he outdrummed fucking David Grohl and fucking Jimmy Fallon. It's gonna work.
Dude, Lauryn Hill and fucking Erykah Badu together are gonna start a fucking revolution. Cops are gonna stop killing people after they release records. Fucking, they're gonna have
But
like
they're
you guys don't even have.
it's
You guys are
I'll go ahead and cut you off on that. Cops aren't going to fucking stop killing people because of two black women. That's not ever going to happen. That's never going to
because
happen.
those two black women are going to bring up a call to arms, and fucking cops are going to start dying. That's what's going to happen. There's going to be a revolution. We're going to take over the White House, and it's not going to be the White House no more. You feel me?
Oh,
Like
God.
they're going to have so much Grammys.
Kyle out here pulling the
are not-
race cards.
You guys
to
are not.
Chris.
You guys
What
are
the
not. You guys
fuck?
are not going to win Grammys. Like yours.
I don't have to win
It sounds
Grammys.
like fun.
Yeah,
It sounds like
Kendrick
fun.
Lamar doesn't need fucking more Grammys. He
Grammys has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, he
Your
already
style
has
is
13
just
Grammys, and he
they're
has
so
the
similar,
most
there's no
nominations
way.
of
My
any rap artist.
collaboration will outsell
It's-
either one of your
Kendrick
collaborations.
Kendrick Lamar doesn't
Good.
need more fucking
Easy.
Grammys.
If Lauryn Hill dropped a solo album today, it would outsell either
Richard
one.
Cheese obviously doesn't care about album sales. Like, and neither does Mindless Self-Indulgence. They do what they want, and that's fun. I think mine's the most fun. They're just
Well,
gonna
don't
have
get me
fun
wrong. I'm
making
not
music
saying
together.
Erykah Badu and Lauryn Hill are
And
releasing
creating a
music just to
new
make money.
fusion of
Because
great,
that's not who they are.
brand new music. There's
But
nothing
by
original with
releasing
your
by
guys'.
releasing their amazing music, they're going to make money. That's not who they are. They're not out just to make money. They're going to have fucking
Yeah,
album.
and my
political shit.
argument for this isn't about making money, it's about making money for fucking kids. What's your beef with making money for the kids?
I think Kendrick would end up on my record.
Making money for
That's
kids
what would
making
happen.
Money for the kids.
Kendrick would be like, "Fuck the Muppets. I'm gonna go hang out with Lauryn Hill and Erykah Badu." That's what would happen.
They do both.
He could do both. But my thing is, like, Kendrick fans are not going to listen to the Muppets. You know what I mean? Like Like, and
The thing is,
and honestly, kids
there's no such thing
kids-
as Kendrick fans because Kendrick has hit such a fucking level of, once again, he has 13 Grammy nominations. Those aren't voted on by his fucking fans. It's voted on by an academy of white people. Motherfucker. So white people are going to go to this benefit concert and pay out the ass to donate this money to fucking children.
So many white people are going to go see Richard Cheese and Self-Indulgence play a song together as Self-Indulgence and Dick Cheese, okay?
I would go.
Like,
to the club.
it just,
I mean, I'd
just the
definitely
fact
go
that,
see it.
like
I'd
you
go
guys
pay
might
more
sell
$15,
more, make
but
more
I'll go
money.
see it.
It's just more fun and original and just so off the wall. It's not, it's taking two, is it closing time?
Yeah.
Closing
time.
Did
I wonder what the rest of Simi's song is like.
Can I just interject and say that song is actually about giving birth?
I knew it was about him, like fatherhood and like giving up his
No,
like party
it is
lifestyle or
about
something.
the birth of his children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the
Yeah.
question. The question was, again, can you read it real quick?
Question. Please give me a collaboration between two artists that has not happened or been rumored to happen.
Alright, so I took two artists that will never be rumored or thought about being a thing. Now, with yours, Erykah Badu and fucking Lauryn Hill, it's the same music, that's easy to collaborate. They're gonna butt heads. There's nothing original or like that's had to have been thought of before, or just like somebody being like, oh, these two would be great with this song, a duet, that'd be great. Yours, Kendrick Lamar and fucking Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem, fucking great band. Like that's such an easy collaboration to do. That's like I mean, just like have some good funk beats, whatever. With mine, I just think it's more fun. You don't want to bring up like selling money or making Grammys. It doesn't matter. This is going to bring an audience in to have a great time. Everyone's going to be like, God damn, really? That's what's going on? Especially with their fan bases. With you said Kendrick Lamar doesn't have a fan base. There's diehard Kendrick Lamar fans. I personally listen to a couple albums. I don't like them, but that's not part of this sort of argument. I just think that if you get Self-Indulgence and Dick Cheese out there playing their jazz-dustrial lounge-tronic music to the masses, they would just sell. It'd just be such a fun tour. Everybody have a great time. Everybody like, what the fuck is this? This is kind of cool. Kind of like it. Doesn't need to happen ever again. It's a great collaboration. It's just so off the wall, so original. It'll never be thought of again. Please, I'm fucking gonna copyright this later. It's just the best collaboration that you could think of. Like, it's just so absurd, so off the wall. Yours just makes a lot of sense, though you're going to end up butting heads. It's not going to work. Yours, it's the Muppet Band, which is a bunch of studio musicians, and Kendrick Lamar, who works with studio musicians all the time. Mine, they're actually musicians. They're going to have a great time. They're going to write their own songs. They're going to cover songs. It's fuck yeah. Self-Indulgence and Dick Cheese.
Awesome argument. Okay, Kyle.
Alright, so while there might be some butting heads between these two artists, that doesn't negate the fact, like, there's butting heads between every fucking band ever. Like, that doesn't mean that Guns N' Roses were never released an awesome album. Like, the fucking, like, and here's the thing, your idea is, it's fun, yeah. Your idea, I get it. But the thing is, Lauryn Hill and Erykah Badu making an album together would be earth-shattering. It's not, it's like, you say it's like two people doing the same thing, well, they're not exactly the same anyway, but it's kind of coming from, similar, like, soul styles and stuff like that. But, like, that's like saying fucking Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man, they came together and they still won the fucking, you can say they're the same dude, they still won the fucking world titles together, man. You can't, it doesn't, like, make my pick any worse, and, like, it's like, yeah, I know, like, Grammys and, like, rich white folks and all that, but Lauryn Hill has her fair share. You know what I mean? Like, and not that they would make the album just to sell records and just to get Grammys and just to have $100 ticket prices, but it would happen because it would be so fucking good. Like I said, yours is niche. It would be fun. I'll go see it, but like I said, I'm not paying more than $15 for it for damn sure. And with the Kendrick and Dr. T thing, like, I'm not. It's a fun idea, but I think that the people who would normally be listening to Kendrick aren't going to listen to it, and the kids who would normally be listening to the Muppets, their parents are going to be like, "Well, Kendrick Lamar, I don't fucking think so." You know what I mean? They're not going to buy that for their kids. You know what I mean? So like, I think that Kendrick is perfectly capable of making an album where it is kid friendly, but I don't think it works. I don't think it works together. And like yours is an obvious clash, and that's the fun of it. But like mine is. There's nothing bad about my collaboration. There's nothing that you could say that like truly that either one of your picks would be better than mine and would be more appreciated by a larger audience.
Okay, Chris.
Okay, I'm going to start this out by saying the question as presented was best idea for a collab that hasn't yet happened or been rumored to be in the works. Best idea. Your idea is stupid. I'm sorry. It's imaginative and it's fucking hilarious, but it's not a good fucking idea. And as far as Erykah Badu and Lauryn Hill, I feel like probably honestly somewhere there probably is a deep cut somewhere of both of them together on somebody else's album. Possibly. I'd have to Google that. I don't know if I can fairly Google that.
There's mashups. There's mashups that people have made, but
I don't know if I can fairly Google that in my argument. But I'm going to say if there isn't a collab, there's obviously a reason why they haven't fucking worked together.
because Lauryn Hill hasn't made hasn't.
Nigga, this is my closing.
You can't talk. I held my tongue so long.
Sorry, you're right. You're right. My bad.
So what I'm saying is there's obviously some reason they haven't worked together in the past. I don't know why. I don't know if it's over fucking Common or some shit, but there has to be a fucking reason why they haven't fucking worked together in the fucking past. With my shit, once again, like I gave 3 examples of like why or scenarios where this could reasonably happen. It could just be a fucking benefit concert for fucking kids, because the Henson Company and the Muppets as a whole are very charitable people. Kendrick Lamar does a lot for his own community. And I gave you a reason and like benefits for this happening. It's not just like this idea. It's like things would come from this. And like fucking To Pimp a Butterfly is probably without a doubt the album that made Kendrick like a well-known artist. And that fucking album itself is predominantly like a jazz and funk and soul based fucking album. If you're going to get a fucking jazz and funk fucking band to play it, to play alongside this guy that like fucking came into his own artistry wise off of like that type of sound, why not fucking Dr. Teeth and the goddamn Electric Mayhem? It would fucking unite people together no matter what color you are. It would be fucking great. It'd be for the children. It would help out the children. And Kendrick has the writing skill to do it.
Okay. Damn
Okay,
it.
so I can't play this and listen to it, but there's a YouTube video called Last Time featuring Lauryn Hill by Erykah Badu, and there is a live performance video that supposedly has them on stage along with a couple other people.
Yeah, because I know they played a concert with, the lineup was Maxwell, Erykah Badu, D'Angelo.
Maxwell, that's weird.
And
Wait, did that one think of-
MSI
Maybe
is
not.
just on
Maxwell's like a 90s,
hiatus.
like
They're
R&B.
not officially
The-
broken up, even though they haven't done anything in about
Yeah,
5
that's
years,
Rockwell.
other than a
Oh, the music
B-side release. Will Smith has an IQ of 115 with a rumored perfect SAT score, but all he will say is, yeah, it was pretty high. And fan speculation is Kendrick Lamar has an IQ of 115.
Ooh.
So they're equally as intelligent.
I'm not surprised about that. Okay. Before I get into like who I'm gonna pick and why and like what I thought of your arguments, I wanted to point out, Chris, you said something about Lauren and Erykah butting heads and it wouldn't work. I just wanted to point out that Fleetwood Mac is a perfect example of how that can work. They made Rumors while they were all cheating on each other.
With each other.
And that's one of the best albums of all time, so that point is null and void. It just depends on how mature you are. Don't argue
my
with me.
specific point was...
No. It's her closing argument.
Oh. Okay, so that brings me to Kyle. Your pick was good for obvious reasons. Yeah, would it be earth-shattering in like the political revolutionary way that you say? I don't know. Americans are pretty complacent, but it would be really good musically, and people would buy it. I do think you focus way too much on what's going to be lucrative. My questions didn't have anything about how much money something is going to make. I don't think that that's the most important aspect of what makes music good. So usually when you talk about that, like, the point is just moot to me. But yeah, they probably would sell a lot of records, they probably would sell a lot of concert tickets, and their music would be awesome to listen to. I think it was a very creative collab? No. Easily reached. Rainer, I would go fucking see Self-Indulging in Dick Cheese. I love Richard Cheese. And MSI was okay too, I guess. I liked it because it's, like you said, it's two very different niche artists that if they came together successfully, it would be a really interesting sound. And yes, people would have a good time going to their shows. The question is, would they be able to come together successfully? Like, how successfully could you marry that? Because, I mean, Richard Cheese doesn't have any original music. His covers are amazing.
An original.
But they're covers, dude. Like, I really liked your answer. I was really hoping that I was going to be able to give you the point, to be honest. I said I didn't have any bias, but when you gave me that answer, I was like, oh my god. I would totally go see that. And yeah, I think it would be a fun show, but the question remains, how well could Richard Cheese and MSI actually marry into something that would work on stage, let alone, I mean, you know, it would just be hard to do. If done, it would be awesome, but I'm skeptical about whether or not it actually could be done. Chris, you tried to pull at my heartstrings with the whole, this would benefit children, and yeah, it probably would. Henson Company, very charitable. Kendrick being a philanthropist was a good point. Yeah, like, I think it was a really good pick. Not really a stretch of the imagination, given that, you know, the Muppets, they worked with all kinds of different people. I love that Kendrick Lamar has already come up twice in this debate. I think he deserves it. This one's pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie, because y'all had really good arguments, but I can find a problem with all of them. I don't know, can I call you in for, like...
I mean, I don't know how helpful I'll be. I was Googling Kendrick Lamar's IQ.
Well, okay, so...
It being the sandwich is fucking hilarious.
I guess I'm gonna say, like, Kyle, you focused a lot on how for profit your choice would be. Chris, you kind of did too, except that it would be beneficial to someone else, not the artists. Rainer, you kind of gave me what I was the most looking for, which was creativity, and you didn't focus on how much they would sell. You just focused on it being fun and people having a good time, so I'm going to give the point to Rainer. And he left. Bye.
I'm going to celebrate.
I'm just going to go ahead and tell you my speedrun questions kind of suck.
I was aiming for a fucking clean sweep and Rainer fucked me up.
Don't tell me you wouldn't go to the V Club and see that if it really happened.
I'd go for fucking MSI, but I really dislike Richard Cheese.
I love Richard Cheese so goddamn much. I like MSI too. But that was like sophomore in high
MSI isn't
school.
a fucking band anymore. It's Uringer now.
They're on hiatus.
It's a what?
Uringer.
You do know a lot of shit.
I'm a music snob.
Don't be a snob. Be a nerd. Don't be a snob.
No, I'm a fucking music snob.
You
Like,
can't be a snob if, listen, I'm gonna say something.
I don't like Tool. I'm a fucking music snob, man. Like,
I mean, I like A Perfect Circle way better.
I don't
You're
like them
wrong. You're
either.
both wrong.
I fucking, they're on Spotify now. and
I know,
I've been,
right?
Like, listening.
I
Yeah,
saw, like,
the past fucking week, all anyone's talking about on fucking Facebook is fucking Tool on Spotify and Tyler Childers coming out with a new album. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about either of those.
Hey,
Tyler
Tool on
Childers-
Tool on
don't talk shit
Spotify
about
shit's
Tyler
awesome.
Childers.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
heavy.
I'm not talking shit.
they have
That's
multiple
all
top,
I'll
like the top 10, like the top 10
On
albums on
iTunes,
iTunes right
Just
now.
an
Mostly
anecdote about Tyler Childers.
Fuck
when I was
Tyler
working
Childers. It's
at a
just
hotel
sad.
in
boy.
Shut up. When I was working at a hotel in Green Bay, Wisconsin, Tyler Childers came through, and I couldn't go because I had to work. I worked night audit at a Days Inn. My boyfriend at the time got offered like under the table cash to go be like a doorman at this show that Tyler Childers was playing at, and the merch dudes fucking recognized him from my Facebook and gave him free shit, and I was so pissed because I was like, this should be my free shit. You wouldn't have got it if it wasn't for me.
Why didn't you get me free shit on top of your free shit as well?
Give me your shit and quit pissing the bed every Friday.
I'm really mad, Nina, though. Like, I know I won, but you didn't use my newly termed jazz industrial e-lounge-tronica
I would
music.
listen to it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, as far as the question was worded, best idea, that is a great idea. The fact that you like came up with that, like, because at first I thought you were just going to leave it at jazz industrial.
No, e-lounge-tronica.
E-Lounge Tronica is really good. It's really good.
That's almost as good as what was it, Serbian Turbo? Funk?
Oh,
What?
Serbian Turbo Folk. Kawasaki. It's a song, look it up. It's amazing. It's Serbian Turbo Folk. I don't know how else to describe that song.
So was that like
It's
you
a,
coined that?
no,
Oh.
I found it one
It's
day.
a type of music.
It's there. And boy, let me tell you,
Second only to jazz industrial
E-Lounge-tronica.
e-lounge-tronica.
That's all the notes I have.
I found a weird one the other day.
I will not lie, I didn't come up with self-indulging and dick cheese, but I came up with the types of music. I was like, what would you call these people? Friend Dave's like, boom, immediately knew what to call it. Like, he's thought of this before, that asshole.
He's been dreaming of this moment for years.
He might be. He can't drink anymore, so. You guys are going to beat me now because I can't drink any more beer because we're out. I bet you Kyle said Kanye for this one.
Best songwriter? Oh, for sure, dude.
I don't think anybody's going to top my answer of R.O.B. for best songwriter. Actually, I wish I would have picked R.O.B.
If you would have picked R.O.B., the funny thing is, if you would have picked R.O.B., I feel that, but my pick, R.O.B. would bust in the room and be like, no, Kyle's right.
Alright, you guys got your answers ready for the next question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome, I can't wait to hear it because this is the one I picked. Okay, question 4 was give me the best living, still working songwriter. And I guess we're just gonna go this way. Chris.
I picked American songwriter Diane Warren, who rose to prominence in 1983 and has written songs for multiple singers as well as several films since.
Okay, Rainer.
Who did you pick again?
Diane Warren.
It doesn't
Diane
matter.
Warren? No, that's fine.
Elizabeth Warren.
It's kind of funny. I also went with an American woman songwriter. I went with the much esteemed Carole King.
Kyle.
My turn? You know, it's funny. Coincidentally, I also went with American Person. You may know him for his work in the blues and jazz and rock, and pretty much in folk, and pretty much any kind of genre you can really think of, is Tom motherfucking Waits.
I go.
Who the fuck is Diane
Who
Warren?
the fuck is Carol King?
You guys know who Tom Waits is?
Yes,
Yeah, he's the
I
fucking
do.
devil.
Now, and Tom Waits. If
And
we want to talk
speaking of
about
the
it,
devil, we'll
Tom,
get back to that.
Tom
Yeah.
Waits.
No, I don't
Might
know who the
be-
fuck Carol King is.
Tom
Yeah.
Waits might be a great songwriter, but he writes his own goddamn songs, and his music is not very good to a lot of people.
Dude, who the fuck are
He
you?
said good.
He's not very good to most people. You listen to Tom Waits, you're
Always
like,
brutal.
yeah, he sings about like it's just like so out there, and like I get his songwriting is great, but it's just bad a lot of times.
What?
It's like
No.
sometimes
His
he
songs read
smashes
every single one of
he
his
smashes on the piano, and then he like it's just not.
You're talking about Randy Newman, okay?
No,
No,
Tom Waits.
it's Tom
dude,
Waits.
Tom Waits. Okay, every single one of his songs reads like a fucking ancient poem. Okay,
great
What-
for songs.
dude. That's
No, my favorite
what is
songwriter is
what is
Beowulf.
Homer, what are you talking about?
Dude, Tom Waits, not, and how can you say, you can't dislike every fucking Tom Waits song because he's done everything from, dude, he has songs that I swear to you can put on and be like, that sounds almost like a Marilyn Manson song.
He sounds
No
like
shit.
shit, though.
Fucking Lowdown, I think it is. Like let alone,
Yeah, that great
obviously-
song everybody knows.
Obviously,
Lowdown by
well, here's
Tom
the thing.
Waits.
Tom Waits talks about everything from your usual blues and bourbon and stuff, and mortality, religion, everything else. But like another thing, he also has a song called "Way Down in the Hole," which was the theme song for maybe the greatest TV show of all time, The Wire. All right, you guys don't have songs. You don't have the Wire theme song.
I do have a TV theme song, so I don't know what you're talking about. Gilmore Girl theme was written by Carole King. She had to rewrite some words to it to fit, like a young girl and young single mom sort
How
of
many
going
awards
into
for
it.
songwriting has Tom Waits won?
Well, I know he's won 2 Grammys, and that was after decades of being in the business.
Now you want to know who Carole King is, right?
Yeah.
Carole King is the most successful songwriting woman in the second half of the 20th century. From 1950 to 1999, she wrote 100 or
I'm sorry, you
co-wrote
said 1999?
from 1950s to 1999.
So
She
she's
wrote.
Still not right.
No, she still writes her own songs, but I'm just letting you know. You said she started, like, your person was 1980 something. She wrote or co-wrote, and sometimes you have a co-writer. 118 Billboard top 100 songs. Just straight up Billboard. That's absurd. And her career started in the 60s. And I'm not even talking about her solo stuff yet. I want to hear who the fuck Diane Warren is. But Carole King trumps her.
Diane Warren has written 75 top 10 hits. She's had 9 number 1 songs, 32 top 10 Billboard songs. Or top. Oh shit, my notes slow. She is the first songwriter in the history of Billboard magazine to have 7 hits, all by different artists, charting at the same time. In 1997, hold on, let me scroll down. Where's that fact? U.S. Air, Delta, and United Airlines had devoted in-flight channels to Diane Warren.
Okay. So does she do anything like solo work? Like ours, at least, have like some solo work thing going on?
No, she's
Just Diane-
a songwriter because the question was asking about
Yeah,
songwriters.
and
Hang on a
so
second,
is
hang on a
Carole
second.
King. She is
Did-
totally a songwriter.
Did neither one of you guys really didn't pick Bob Dylan? Is that
No.
where we're at right now? Okay.
You pick like Bob Dylan might have some, at least like Bob Dylan like sounds a little better than that. Like he smokes 12 packs a day.
There
Shit,
are Tom
dude.
Waits songs that sound exactly like Bob Dylan. Tom Waits has released a song with any fucking sound or any style that you want, and also you guys are just harping on like, well, this person sold records and that person sold records. This person made songs for this person that sold records, and that doesn't make it a good fucking song. Like Ariana Grande is at like on the fucking top of the charts, or fucking Demi
Yeah, but
Lovato.
Ariana Grande doesn't write her
Somebody wrote all of her songs. Well,
Exactly. Maybe one of you guys.
Tom Waits, and we'll
But
go
it doesn't
away.
make it a good,
We'll
doesn't
go
make
away
a good
from
song.
that.
Let me hear some lyrics.
We'll go away from sales. We'll just go with like number 1 top like rated songs like Billboard people are listening to. That doesn't mean you're selling anything. Mine, just like yours, also is a solo artist. She got like they were like, hey, you might actually be good at music. Do that. Her album Tapestry from 1971 spent 15 weeks at number 1 as the top album sold. It was on the charts, just the charts of album sales, for 313 weeks. The only other artist that's ever done that more than her is Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. Like, she wrote songs like "Come On, Let's Do the Locomotion." You wouldn't think that from Carole King, who sings who writes and sings with James Taylor, who also wrote "You Got a Friend in Me." Everybody knows that song. She writes songs. She wrote the theme for fucking not Field of Dreams, A League of Their Own. Like I said, fucking Gilmore Girls, so the Care Bear movie. Carole King wrote that fucking theme song.
It's unfortunate though that you also picked a female songwriter when I picked a female songwriter who was the only female songwriter to win ASCAP's Songwriter of the Year 3 times.
Let's go here. Carole King has won 3 Grammys, mainly for her album Tapestry, and her song "It's Too Late, Baby." Yeah, it's too late. And "You Got a Friend in Me." Everybody knows that song by James Taylor, not the stupid Toy Story one.
You know what song everybody knows? "Unbreak My Heart" by Toni Braxton.
Carole King is also in the Songwriting Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and she got a award from the Library of Congress called the Gershwin Prize. Everybody knows Gershwin, right? Ragtime Doll and all that stuff. You know, pop music, the thing. She's the first woman to win that. Somebody else won it. I'm pretty sure it was Gloria Estefan, but that was recent. But her songs...
Guess who wrote songs for Gloria Estefan? Diane Warren.
And so
who's
did
also
Gloria
in the
Estefan.
Songwriting Hall of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I'm just saying here. She also wrote songs like "You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman" by Aretha Franklin. Like, that's a Carole King song. She wrote that, not Aretha Franklin. And everybody knows that fucking song. If you don't talk about songs.
Alright, I'm sorry,
knows.
but Diane Warren also wrote Aretha Franklin songs and Whitney Houston songs and Mary J. Blige songs and fucking Boys.
But you said she started in 1988. Who cares about
83.
Aretha Franklin songs from after?
She
like,
also
the
wrote songs
60s
for
and
Patti
70s?
LaBelle, fucking Luther Vandross. She wrote "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing" by fucking
If-
Aerosmith. Everybody in the goddamn world knows that song.
That's fine, and people don't know who she is. At least with Carole King,
Because
you
she's a
guys,
songwriter.
you guys might not know it. Carole King could take her songwriting and
And
make
I'm sorry,
actual
nobody in the
music
fucking
with it.
room knew who the fuck Carole King was. So
We
you
all
can't
knew who
use-
Tom Waits was, and he
you can't
sucked.
use the
His
argument.
songs were just so
focus on me, motherfucker.
over there.
Focus on me and stop trying to ignore my point.
Either one of you name one
Well, we
song.
can't use the same points over
Nobody
and over.
knew who fucking
That defeats the
The chairman
idea
of
the
EMI
debate.
Music Publishing fucking credits fucking Diane Warren as the most important songwriter in the world. She's had fucking over 125 million fucking collective like song or what?
Sorry. I wanted to ask you to repeat who credits her as the most important, so I didn't quite.
The chairman of EMI.
A
Peter-
record company.
Peter Wright.
Which, you know, basically she just sells like pop songs over here and there and make money for people.
Your motherfucker sells pop songs. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
That's not
but,
the fucking point.
she's never
We're arguing
she's never
damn near the
brought
same
up
person right
she's
now.
never brought up by a
Really
music
are.
label to be like, thank God for her. They're like, oh, she writes good songs and, you know, they'll make us a little bit of money. It doesn't matter. Her songs are great. Everybody, if you hear a song, you'll be like, God, I didn't know this was Carole King. She had a great album. Back to Tom Waits, though. Like, Tom Waits' songs, I know one song. It's about, like, fucking some gun I can't even bring up because I don't fucking care about guns. But that's the only song I know that Tom Waits
16
writes
shells
because
in a 30-06.
it's a good song.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's fucking about. It's just about, like, he says that, and I'm like, oh,
Well, it's
cool,
funny that
you
mention
sound,
that.
you made,
It's
like,
funny that you
sounds
mention that
this
because
time.
Tom Waits tells stories, and he's told every story you can think of, and the story that itself, when you look at the story, it has a whole other story to it. He tells a story that tells a story.
So is he
Lyrically-
writing songs,
lyrically,
or is he just, like, being Homer? Is he our new Homer? Like, he's just writing epic poems, and then he just...
I don't even want to
easy.
fucking talk about Tom Waits because
that?
Tom Waits writes songs for Tom Waits. Tom Waits writes Tom Waits music.
How many
Versus
how many
our
different
shit,
genres
who are
does your guys
fucking-
span?
A lot.
Like,
A
name-
lot.
Name not as many
lot.
as Tom Waits.
Alright.
Name one song lyrically that can stand up now, because we're talking about the best
Unbreak My
song
Heart!
compared to a Tom Waits song.
Yes!
Say you love
How-
me again.
How many fucking...
Tom Waits
how many,
does that
How many
song
number one
better.
songs does Tom Waits have?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
It does matter, because that's what we're talking
No,
about.
that honestly does
We're
not
talking-
matter.
We're talking about
It
being the
does.
best songwriter. The best songwriter writes the best songs. It doesn't have shit to do
Oh,
with
the best songs get played the most on the fucking radio because
they
people
don't.
want to hear them.
No, they don't. When you listen to the radio every day, Chris? Because
I don't, but people live.
Nobody listens to the
See,
radio.
Okay, music
like-
has surpassed that, but how many streams does Tom Waits currently have if we're talking fucking that bullshit?
Tens of millions.
Bullshit.
Well, hundreds of millions combined.
He's very niche because people enjoy his songwriting, but his songwriting is music and stuff, which I also use in songwriting because you have to have the whole thing. You can't just write a fucking poem.
Well, and that's another thing too.
and then
You
just
got-
like slam the piano.
Your guys'
Yours-
songwriters aren't even banging on a piano, and that's not.
Yes, they
that's
are.
not-
Yes, they are. That's how you write songs.
Carole King is a fucking pianist. Her album is just her fucking just like letting out her emotions, the tapestry. Like she took her artistry, her
I can't
talent
relate to any
into
of
an
the
album.
songs that you guys are talking about at all. I
She
can
still-
relate to
she
songs.
I
still
can't
goes
relate
on
to Tom
tour.
Waits. I'm sorry. Like,
She goes
I
on
I've
never
never been
bought
sad
cigarettes.
drinking whiskey before.
I don't drink whiskey. You know that.
And like
Well, not anymore.
I couldn't look up every 100 songs, 118 songs that made the Billboard Top 100, and that's a pretty big deal. There's a lot of songs out there. She went on tour with and I'm guaranteeing she wrote songs for Fergie. She opened up for Fergie because, hey, you know what? I'm a songwriter, I'm a woman. This is what you can do, and I guarantee you, a lot of her songs were written by Carole King because Carole King knows how to. You can't. I looked. If you can find it, I'll be upset. She shows that you can songwrite and just do whatever genre of music you want. She does a lot of adult contemporary. She does Do the Locomotion with Me, which is like a Motown song. She
Yeah,
wrote
you know
lot
who
of
else
the
did a lot of
Drifters.
fucking adult contemporary? Diane Warren, who had 15 #1 songs on the adult contemporary charts. Like, you and I are pretty much arguing the same fucking person, but different name. To be goddamn honest,
Yeah.
Except
there's
mine-
so much bleed over. between,
Except mine is the most successful female songwriter from 1950 to 1999. Tom Waits.
yeah,
He does great.
What year was her most recent song written?
Probably like 2008.
2008. We're talking about. The question was still working.
She's still
Diane
working.
Warren
And I
is
had
still
this.
working.
I had this.
She was nominated for a
I had
Grammy
this thing.
this
She's
fucking
touring.
year, my dude.
She's working.
She was nominated for a
She's
Grammy this
working.
fucking year.
This year, my dude. Kyle, what's up?
Okay, alright, guys, let's go ahead and close this one because Carole King and Diane Warren, it's a mirror. What, Rainer? What was that?
Nothing.
Tell me.
I was talking to Kyle.
I don't care.
I'll close. Carole King is the greatest still working songwriter. Now, I did have to get clarification that if they're touring and doing music and doing their own songs as themselves, does count, and that's fine if it's not. But that's the thing. Carole King writes songs for herself and other people. She can go out there and sing and write songs for other people and then go and perform them. Tom Waits, he's his own thing. You say he writes poems, whatever. In my mind, songwriting also includes making the music, doing that sort of thing with the words you have. You have to have that in mind. Tom Waits to me just fucking bangs on piano, has some weird like that sometimes. He's just all over the place. He has no idea what he's doing. He writes it and then like that. It's kind of like whoever writes Elton John's song. He writes the words, Elton John makes the music. With Diane Warren, nobody knows who she is. She never has branched out and done music herself. She writes for other people. Carole King was told to write for herself, and she did, and made a fantastic album. It's probably top 20 of all time if you go to any list. With Tapestry, again, like I said, she has written songs for years. This is over 50, 60 years she's writing songs, her whole life. And she goes out there and she plays them. She does movie themes, like I said, Care Bears, League of Their Own. She rewrote one of her songs for Gilmore Girls, which is like a hit show. I guess I don't really like it, but people like it. She can adapt her songs, which is what she kind of has to do now because they're like, oh, you wrote that then, it would work now. I think Carole King is just the best living, working songwriter still around. She's one of the greatest. She's still lovely, too, at like 75.
Alright, you said your lady last song written was like 2008 or like whatever the fuck. Once again, Diane Warren is still to this day writing songs that are... She was nominated for a Grammy this goddamn year. It doesn't matter that she isn't a touring musician. She is a songwriter. The question was best fucking songwriter, not best touring musician. So I don't give a fuck if your bitch is still touring. Actually, let me rephrase that. I don't give a fuck if your songwriter's still touring.
Thank you.
Like, Diane Warren has, once again, she's the only female songwriter to win ASCAP's fucking Songwriter of the Year 3 times. She's won the Voice of Music Award. She's won Billboard's Songwriter of the Year twice. She's won the National Academy of Songwriters 1996 Songwriter of the Year award. She had 3 major U.S. airlines dedicate fucking inline flight channels to music she's written. She's written songs for over she's written songs for 69 different fucking movies. I'm sorry, she didn't write the fucking Care Bear theme, given I fucking love that movie. I'm not even fucking lying. But like, she is just as fucking hard-working. She's written songs for fucking Ace of Base, Aaliyah, fucking Aerosmith, Alice fucking Cooper, Babyface, Beyonce. She's written fucking 14 songs for Cher, 2 songs for Chicago, both were number 1 fucking hits.
Carole King's fucking thing.
She's fucking... No, I'm still skipping. I have 4 pages of people she's written for, but I'm not going to read every fucking name. But she's written for 12 songs for Celine Dion, Aretha Franklin, 5 fucking Whitney Houston songs. She's written fucking 3 Kiss songs, 6 songs for Patti LaBelle. Like,
Did you say Kiss?
yeah. She fucking wrote a song for goddamn Michelle Obama, dude. Like, she is
Sellout.
the, like, fucking actively the most famous and, like, recognized songwriter. I'm sorry she's not a touring musician, but she is a songwriter. She's written for Rod Stewart. Somebody's at the door.
Hello?
She's written 10 songs for Leanne Rimes, like Barbra Streisand. Like,
Yeah, come on in.
What's up?
she's just fucking, like,
Hi.
pretty much the same person you fucking picked, but she doesn't fucking tour. But she's more active. She's currently still writing songs and still winning awards to this day for songs she's writing. And Tom Waits, fuck Tom Waits. I'm sorry, but like, Tom Waits writes Tom Waits music. We at least picked fucking songwriters that are eclectic and very broad and wide, where you picked a person that writes their fucking music for themselves. Like, yeah, he might be a good songwriter, but he also is just very pigeonholed into just Tom Waitsness, which, like, I feel like most people
Waitsness.
don't even recognize Tom Waits as a person. Like, music, people that really know music know Tom Waits, but, like, to the average fucking person, Tom Waits is just a name, just like Carole King and Diane Warren.
Okay. Kyle, close your argument.
Poor Kyle.
Shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
I mean, honestly, I checked out before this round started, but
Yeah,
but
we know.
I mean, Tom Waits writes better songs than either one of your picks. Anything that your songwriters have done, mine has done better. Lyrically, like the Broken Heart songs, Tom Waits has done better. Your only arguments were Tom Waits sucks. I don't like Tom Waits, and you say Tom Waits makes songs for Tom Waits. Well, he's protective of his music and he doesn't bend his will to, but at the same time, he's made, like, especially if you just look at the lyrics alone. But, like, he's made songs, like I said, that are blues, that are rock, that are borderline industrial, vaudeville, obviously. Apparently, Rainer really doesn't like the fucking vaudeville shit. And, like, I mean, he set the stage for everybody from fucking, he set the stage for so many different, modern performers, and he's still, making music and still touring. And like I said, like, when it comes to being the best songwriter, that means that you write the best songs. It doesn't mean necessarily you garner the most awards, you make the most money, you sell the most records, you write the best songs. Lyrically, your picks can't stand up next to Tom Waits, because whatever they do, he's done it better and will continue to do it better.
Okay. Question. What?
Hey man, what's your name?
Ethan.
Ethan, nice to meet you. Sorry you had
to
to
meet you.
walk into people yelling
No,
at you.
you're fine.
For the audience that is just joining us, the question was, who is the best living working songwriter? We have Diane Warren, Carole King, and Tom Waits. And I'm supposed to judge this now. So, Kyle, question: did you even try in this debate?
No, I didn't talk, except mostly at the closing argument there.
Yeah. You made some good points about, like, Tom Waits, like, not would you say, bending his will to what other people want him to write. I appreciate that. Tom Waits fucking sucks though.
Well, you know, I can actually do like Tom Waits'
It's
shit.
phenomenal.
I love Tom Waits.
John
I
Cutler.
I don't. I do appreciate the fact that, you know, as far as like songwriting, like you take his lyrics into consideration. He writes really deep stuff. He tells stories. That makes sense. But I'm also looking for songs, not poems set to weird, random piano bangs. So they also have to be able to write the music to go with it. You guys, it's a really tough. Like, the only thing... Yeah, Kyle, you're out. Rainer, stop telling secrets over there.
Like,
Seriously.
No, I'll tell you what my secret is once we get a judge.
Okay. So, really what it comes down to, because like Chris said, you guys are kind of arguing almost the same person. I really like that your pick, like, also has her own, like, solo stuff, puts out her own albums, tours. Chris, you said that Diane Warren has more recent, like, work that got acclaim. It's a really hard pick, but given the fact that she has, like, would you say, like, 3 Delta Airline channels dedicated to her music, and the fact that she has shit that's getting recognition more recent than Rainer's pick, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the point.
I really thought you were going to give that to Rainer.
Hey, Rainer made a really good argument.
I remembered one thing that I left out of my argument. I was like, fuck, I should have brought that up. She claims to have never been in love, but she wrote "Unbreak My Heart," and that's goddamn impressive. I'm sorry, that's fucking impressive.
That is
My
impressive.
my secret also was I kept telling Kyle, since he kept saying we were mirroring, that he was going to win. I think he has the better choice, but
He didn't argue it well enough for me, and that's what I'm supposed to do, right? Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not,
no, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Sorry, Kyle,
I
you-
thought you won. On
Yeah.
that.
Honestly, I don't remember, other than closing argument, I don't remember saying anything other than telling you guys to put your lyrics up against my lyrics, and nobody would do it.
Do you want me to sit here and quote? I don't want to miss a thing by
No,
Aerosmith.
no,
I
it's
will.
fine. We know it. But yeah.
If you had said that during the debate that she claims to never have been in love, but she wrote "Unbreak My Heart," it would have been like no contest, because that's crazy. That song like gets me mad.
Carol King.
Also, another fun fact about Diane Warren: she wrote a song for Disturbed for their 2018
What?
album.
What?
Why?
You know,
Why?
a point that I didn't bring up, that I considered bringing up, is like there are songs by Tom Waits that, like, if you just look at the lyrics, you're like, this could be a death metal song, dude. Totally could be.
Or a Homer poem.
Yeah, or-
That's like this
Or a
big.
Homer poem. So
Or just some dude drunk in a bar.
my speed round questions
And
really
you said
suck, and I
Beowulf.
would
Nobody knows who
love
wrote
to
Beowulf.
skip it and go to the pitch, the one pitch.
Well,
Blind
Blind
Pitch is
Pitch
next.
first.
Blind Pitch is
Oh,
next.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we take a
we're
bathroom
still in
break?
this.
I need to say hello to my guests, and I have to pee.
Yeah, go for it.
5
Let
minutes.
us
Judge.
draw. Let
We're
us
on your
draw
time, dude.
first, and then
Okay.
we get some
Yeah.
time to like kind of think about it.
Okay,
That makes sense
that's a
That's
good
a lot
point.
of cups.
It is a lot of cups. Do you know why it's a lot of cups?
because
You have to
everything
make a song.
says ghost.
No. In fact, in all 4 of these cups, there's only one ghost reference. And-
Damn.
In each cup.
I was hoping I'd win the lottery. It's
No.
like, I got ghosts. This is easy.
I said
No.
6 cups.
What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 5.
I'm
fuck is
intrigued.
this?
This is
That's
a lot.
trash.
This-
No.
I gotta find the
Trick.
one that you gotta draw out of first, because you're actually gonna draw for what you're pitching. You're all gonna be pitching something different. Okay, it's this one. So we're gonna draw that first.
Just trying to make sure I grab one, not 2 things.
It's not fucking Avatar remake, is it? I'm so kind of salty about that. I shouldn't have ruined it. I shouldn't have ruined it because I think I would have won with the like
It was
reboot
Brian
Pocahontas.
fucking Rainer
Yes!
and
Everybody's drawn out of
Matt,
that.
and I everything in the cup, or like every option was the same option.
And I had to fucking ruin it because I thought it wasn't. I'm sorry about that.
Gotta make sure these are all folded
It's
up.
like, no, it's, oh no.
Okay. Now you're gonna draw for a genre.
Wait, what was this?
What you're pitching.
Like a
The project that you're actually pitching.
sci-fi movie.
You're all gonna be
or
pitching something different.
like a new hit album.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting out of it.
Yeah.
This red cup?
Yeah.
I worked really
YouTube
hard on this.
sensation, something like that. That's...
Everybody got it?
yeah.
This is your featured artist or whoever's gonna star in your pitch.
Like they actually have to
Be in it.
be in it,
Yeah.
so they can't just write it or anything. They have to...
No, because that's what the next thing you're drawing
Okay.
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
God damn it, this doesn't match up. Okay.
That's the point. The point is for you to be creative. I told you this.
Richard Cheese and fucking mindless self-indulgence, alright?
I told you this in the group message. I'm pretty sure that this was ambiguous and you're gonna have to rely on your creativity for this. Alright, this is actually like the writer/producer. And I labeled them. Your featured artist has an FA next to their name. The
writer-producer
is also labeled in such a way.
So this is like my actor that I just
Yeah.
Okay.
The star
Okay.
of your whatever your
Okay.
production is.
F.A.
Fuck.
I can't wait.
F.A. Come on. Give me something good. Oh, are you
At least
fucking...
these two kind of.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
You guys are complaining, but whatever you have will work better than what I have.
I'm actually very intrigued with this. It's just hilarious.
Good. I can't wait. And then this last one is a required word. Now,
Okay.
I'm leaving that up to your interpretation. It can be in the title,
Okay.
probably. But depending on what it is you're actually pitching, it could also be your theme.
Okay.
But you just have to make sure in your pitch that you explain how it's related if it's not in the title. So, either title or theme.
Fucking ruin anything I thought I was doing up until then.
Good.
Penis.
That was not one of the required words.
No, I got. Ha!
Good? Everybody got their stuff?
And this is just a word that has to be incorporated somehow, right?
Yeah.
And so
Rainer EP.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar
Can I hold
with
it?
the writer-producer.
What?
Can I hold it?
If you can find it.
So,
Yeah, we'll leave and see
what do you
each
think,
side.
Matt? He doesn't know who this writer-producer
Like
is.
I've seen the name before, maybe.
Should we make him Google it,
You
or
can
let him
Google
it.
draw another?
If I can Google it, that'll be fine.
Yeah, you can Google it.
Sounds like a very complicated game.
I can't wait to see what they come up with. So, bathroom break. Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice. Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
We're like, come on. I'll show you things.
Sure.
How long is what?
As long as you're going first.
Oh. That's the bathroom.
I have to look up somebody too. So.
Yeah.
No, you
I
guys,
mean, after I looked them up, I was like, oh, but
you guys are gonna laugh when you hear one of mine. You're gonna be like, oh, of course. I like this pitch idea. It's not bad. It's music, so. 20 people got fucking killed in that shooting.
Yeah, I saw that.
Does anybody, do you know whose tall high life that is in there?
Mine. You can have it.
Okay.
Did you see that pop thing I sent you?
Yeah, dude. That's
I don't
crazy.
understand.
Well, I looked up like how they're doing that. They have like different shops that sell different like Comic-Con things. So I'm guessing like that one's gonna be like the least selling one because it's Starship Troopers. So I'm never gonna sell it because it's fucking awesome. And I showed you how like they say it's muddy. That's fucking orange blood. They can't be like fucking bug blood.
Yeah.
Version, but
Well,
how it was
they-
different too.
yeah.
Like mine was like totally different. I was like, well, that's a different splatter. I like that. That's really cool.
Like I have a Red Sonja one that's bloody.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
They made a John Wick one that's bloody.
Because they never in Starship Troopers get muddy. There's
Right.
not one scene in the movie where they're in like a swampland or.
Was it? Well, is it muddy or is it?
It's called Muddy Johnny Rico.
Okay.
But on the back, it's where he rides that big ass bug and like shoots a hole in it and puts the grenade in it. And it's orange blood because bugs, even though not all bugs have orange blood, there's like purple blood and stuff like that. So I don't know what they were thinking. I forgot what my word was. Oh, okay. I got it.
Well, I made a friend today. It was a little praying mantis, but he ran away.
Yeah.
Lived on my head for like 20 minutes.
They're chill. They're cool. But then no bugs came by, so he left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what they do.
I didn't watch any of the episodes of this, but is this something that you guys always do?
Yeah, every Saturday.
Yeah.
Is it over?
No.
Not quite.
Oh,
Well,
Different categories and
let
whatnot.
me get my cat again. Oh, she gone.
Your cat wants me.
Yeah, generally we do mostly movie debates, but this week's music debate we've done. What last week was it? Was it last week?
Anime was
and
last
comic books and all kinds of different stuff.
Yeah, we need a comic book judge because I want to do one.
I don't think I'm knowledgeable.
We basically
enough
just
to-
get drunk
I like,
on the
I'd
couch
like to
and
be
yell at
involved in
each
the comic
other,
book
so-
one, but I
Yeah.
don't think I'm knowledgeable enough
I
to
mean,
really pull
like-
it.
And we don't throw punches either, which one day I'm just waiting. Somebody's gonna do something, Corey.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Throw a
Corey's either
punch
going to
at
throw a punch or
somebody.
take
Somebody's
punch.
gonna do something to me.
Happy birthday, Corey. Wherever you are. You know, I thought of something earlier that I want to ask you, Rainer. I feel like you might be more knowledgeable. Why do like all the cities in North Carolina have two names?
What do you mean?
Winston-Salem and
Oh well,
Durham.
Winston Salem is literally like they just combine a lot
Right.
because they get so big,
Right.
especially Winston because
Well,
of the,
but like in New York, it's just called New York, right?
yeah. Well, it's because that was one city and got bigger.
Right.
In North
Well,
Carolina,
no,
they were
um,
cities and they just kind of merged. So,
Well, New York is like.
but they're still their own cities.
Right.
So like Durham.
It's
is
just like
its
the
own place.
area is
Yeah,
all-
they just kind of name it the area.
Right.
After a while. That's what happens. I was just like New Bern. Like that's two words. That's a New Bern. What do you expect?
I never really thought about that before. To be
But-
honest with you.
But yeah, that's why it is like that.
Word.
Like Charlotte.
Imagine if
didn't do it
New
because it
York
was-
was like that, though. It'd be like, welcome to Bronx, Manhattan,
New York,
yeah, like,
New York.
Brooklyn, Queens.
No, because they all, but they also all like identify as a New Yorker.
Right.
First, they're like, I'm from New York, where? Then Brooklyn.
Right.
If somebody in Raleigh, Durham's like, hey, where are you from? They'll say, I'm
Or in
from,
like L.A.
Yeah,
it's
I'm-
like from Compton, or,
yeah,
you know, where.
I'm
Why is
from
it-
Durham.
Right.
And then you'd be like, oh, Raleigh,
Durham's
Durham.
on
So
the
it's
screen.
it just they got so big, it just
on
kind of
screen.
merged
But I
into
can't
one
tell how
thing.
much of the table is on screen.
You can't
Just
see
the
it.
straw.
Kind of like how the Grand Strand is like actually like 15 different beaches or something.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you
Or
mean?
the
That's
Outer
the
Banks.
short part?
Right.
It's like it's just a collective sort of.
I have a question for you.
Me?
And interstates too.
How much can I
There's a lot
modify
of a bunch of interstates like
the
collide in those places.
genres
Right.
room
So it's just
with
like
the,
that, yeah.
writer producer?
Traffic from both areas.
I literally thought zero about
Can't be
this
more
except
specific.
how it's going to work.
Yeah, I'm trying to put it together.
Like, what I did with the shit I drew. What the fuck? I've got it. Lost my shit.
You remember what it was though, right?
Yeah, yeah,
check
yeah.
my verbiage.
Damn, if you get this, we
You're
have to
like-
do a speed round to get
It's
into
like
the speed
shedding
round.
cigarette butts.
So don't try.
I don't.
I wasn't really planning on it.
Dude, I really thought Tom Waits was rolling. Like,
Oh, did I leave it in the
That
bathroom?
was hard.
Can
There's a
I?
piece of paper.
Here,
This?
Chris.
Yeah.
This is
Oh.
my cigarettes. No, I'm not looking for cigarettes, but I'll
Oh.
take one. I'm trying to figure out what I did for the other slips of paper.
Oh, well, that sucks for you.
I mean, I know what they were. My question is like, there are
Was the genre too broad?
no, it's not broad. I'm saying based on the writer, producer, or whatever, can I tweak my genre towards that? Like, say if I just drew, like, for example,
You two.
rock.
Oh.
Based on who I drew, could I make it like, well, this person leans towards this variation of rock, or like an offshoot of this, or if it was like, say I drew like just the words punk, because punk is very broad, and I drew Henry Rollins, could I shoot it towards like hardcore punk, or like does it have to just be like what I drew? Because like there is a specific offshoot of that like would work well with what I drew. Is my
Then-
question. Can I like?
This seems like
Okay,
that'll
well
work
as
fine.
long as it's like still fits within the genre, I'll allow it.
Okay.
I'm excited.
I'm not.
Oh, I made it stupid on purpose.
I got two answers that I'm okay with, and then the rest is just like,
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go check the bathroom.
fuck.
I wanted you to have to work and come up with something.
My first pick was perfect for me. I'm not gonna lie, it's so good.
Did anybody get Tobias Forge?
Yeah.
Are you lying?
No.
Is that the one that you didn't know anything about?
Yeah, but isn't it pronounced Tobias Forge? That's what the internet.
Forge.
That's what I thought it was Tobias Forge, and I was like, oh, it's Tobias Forge.
It might be. I don't know. We're Americans.
Yeah,
so-
it's goddamn. We butchered that language.
Well,
Doesn't matter.
It turns
How many
out
pieces of paper should we have?
BLYTHE is Bly.
Pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah. So it's Randy
Just
Bly.
5 pieces of paper? I have 4.
Goddamn,
Yeah,
I'm the
left.
one who's been drinking all day. I know where my papers are. Come on.
I think Chris
Pepperoni.
smoked his answers.
I hope he hurries. I'm hungry. I want to go get food.
You can have half this pepperoni roll if you want it, as long as I get the other half.
That's gross. They don't put like pepperoni slices in those.
This one
ones.
does. Yeah, it's totally pepperoni. You can what?
It looks.
Sorry.
It's good.
Never mind.
I got the hot cheese one last time I was here. It was
Okay.
fantastic.
Who's going first?
Kyle.
Sure.
I was gonna say,
So-
I'll go first.
So, from writer and producer, Tobias Forge, comes a dubstep electronica movie musical led by the timeless vocals of Axl Rose, titled "The Devil's Elbow." And
Oh.
it's a lot of like whoa 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 wah, whoa 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 wah. And you know the mind behind Papa Emeritus is driving the whole thing.
It's the
And
devil's elbow.
it's
Yeah.
the devil's elbow. Elbow was my word. So it's the devil's elbow. And
We don't argue these. We just
How
bitch.
humorous.
it's about Axl Rose being the right hand man, as it were, of Satan himself, being sent to the world to basically destroy everything, and he does that to with his piercing, earth-shattering vocals, backed by lots of wub wubs, processed and produced by Tobias Forge, and and it's a a movie musical where he it's basically just about scorched earth, and although he is the main character and the main singer obviously in the musical, in the end it's about how there's a twist where, and you know, this is kind of like rock opera but dubstep electronica, right? And there's a twist at the end because, you know, it's about him just wreaking havoc, destroying cities with his magical voice and wub wubs. And then, you know, at the end, when he's almost defeated, you realize, no, he's not going to be defeated. Number one, he's Axl fucking Rose. Number two, he's the right-hand man and drops the devil's elbow on humanity and explodes the whole earth. With the wub wubs.
All right.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
I like that. I'd watch that. Look better than Cats. So speaking of Cats, from writer-producer Kendrick Lamar,
Again with the.
he's decided to branch out from his normal hip-hop.
And do a show with Dr. Teeth and Electric.
His hip-hop sort of style with his party rock anthems and what have you. He wants to show his versatility. So he's come up with a live musical coming to Broadway March 2020. He wants to show his versatility in the music sense. So it's folk punk live musical. It stars Shooter Jennings.
Yes!
He has gotten on the wrong bus. He ends up at the last stop and he has no idea where he's at, what he's going to do. And he realizes he is way out of place for him. He's playing himself, by the way. He's playing Shooter Jennings, Outlaw Country, self persona. And he realizes that he's been dropped off in the middle of Compton. He has no idea what to do, but he knows that his music, his ideas could put him here because there's such a great balance between people who love music and the folk punk, and he assumes this hip-hop sort of gangster ideal of life and what music should be and how life is. So it's basically the story in 90 minutes with 2 acts. It's him trying to relate to an audience, a group of people he probably would never even think that he has a chance to relate to or sell his ideas to. The second act, he learns that everybody's kind of the same. Everybody likes to have fun. Everybody likes to enjoy music, and it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. It's all about having fun. We all have the same struggles, and at the end, you just want to have a party. So Kendrick Lamar, his wonderful, eclectic, versatile self, writes the wonderful, coming again March 2020 to Broadway, Jamboree in Compton.
Jamboree was his word.
City of Compton.
Okay, as I started drawing things, I was like, fuck, there's nothing I can do this, but it all kind of fell together very well. Trying to figure out in what order I want to do this, though. In the creatively reimagined musical biopic, written and produced by Rob Zombie, starring Childish Gambino as Chuck Berry, in a psychobilly, well, I guess rockabilly, but like leaning towards more psychobilly because it's written by Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie trying to write rockabilly is just going to sound like psychobilly in general. It's just the story of Chuck Berry's life, but in this he happens to be a zombie, or as we'll call him, Chuck Berry. And it's just, you know, it's how he invented rock and roll, only to have his musical style stolen by Marty McFly because he's a dick. But yeah, it's just about Chuck Berry's life, but in this he's a zombie, Chuck Berry, and the movie Chuck Berry, Perspiration or Starvation, written and produced by Rob Zombie.
Awesome.
I don't have much to say about the story because it's Chuck Berry's life.
What was
So
I?
What happens?
He invents rock and roll and eats people. Like, fuck.
Oh, this was very entertaining.
Good job, everybody. We did good.
I wish I knew more about Chuck
I
Berry's life, but
I
I
feel
don't.
good about mine. I feel good about yours and yours. I'd go watch them all.
Yeah, I was kind of the
But I
same where I
couldn't.
was like, I don't know how any. And after I got everything, I was like, this works.
Okay, yeah.
I can make this work.
Chris, it did kind of fall together that you ended up getting Rockabilly and Rob
Rob
Zombie.
Zombie.
When you showed me that and asked about it, I was like, oh, he drew Rob Zombie. And, like, even it kind of goes with, like Chuck Berry, as long as you're making him undead. Like, that's cool. The Devil's Elbow. Kind of threw you for a loop with the dubstep, but like I can see it working. I
Lots
don't-
of whoop-whoops.
Who was your writer?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa.
Who was your writer and producer?
Twice Forge.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
He's
The
the
he's
director of
singer.
Ghost. Rainer.
God, that's some spooky ass dubstep.
Right.
Yeah.
The Devil's Elbow, get it?
I'm about it. You even incorporated like wrestling. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, I can see it. Rainer.
It's a rock opera, but dubstep electronic. It's great.
I just love your little feel good Shooter Jennings story. And the fact that it's live, like I can actually like
Jamboree and Compton.
Jamboree and Compton. You definitely came up, I think, with the best title because it just fit what you're putting together. Jamboree and Compton. I really wanted to give this one to Kyle, but I think Rainer got it. Sorry, Chris. Is this a bone?
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Yours was good too. Like that was the best one, hands down.
Yeah, I think
That
that's
was
the most
best
successful pitch that has happened
ever.
Ever,
Like
yeah.
hands down.
I don't know.
With the exception of me giving Matt and fucking Rainer and fucking Brian the same thing.
Remember my minor league TV show, my minor league group that went to Hawaii and played kickball and shit? I was thinking about that a couple days ago. I was like, I don't even know.
What was the one fucking dipshit? What the fuck's his name? Corey. Couldn't think of Corey's name. Happy birthday.
I almost said
what was
Colin.
it? Fucking hot daughter, bad stepdad or something.
Oh yeah,
Stepdad, hot daughter. Like, no, Corey, no.
He's not a very good stepdad. That's cute. I'm glad you guys had fun with that because I worked.
That was
really
good. That was a good one. I like that. Lots of picks. All works very well.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this so I can go back and like Photoshop some movie posters or flyers for all these.
That would be awesome. I want to see them decided to do that.
Jamboree and Compton, baby.
I'm just picturing like
That's
Axl
gonna be the
Rose,
best one.
Axl Rose and a microphone with flames and lasers everywhere. And see,
Lasers and
also,
lasers.
if you want to,
He's a
you know,
fucking good album after
You remember?
that.
You remember Dave Grohl in Pick a Destiny,
Pick a
Tenacious
Destiny.
D? If you want to make Axl Rose look like that,
But it's current day Axl Rose.
yeah, but he can still wear makeup.
So it's fucking
His is on the. He has movie magic.
Yeah.
You know they can do that.
True.
Mine's fucking live. Damn it.
Right, but I like
You
what
can't.
you
You
did
can't
with it.
fix that.
I like what you did with it. I'm so glad.
No,
that-
as soon as I got musical live, I was like, there's no way I'll lose that one.
See, that's what I
I've
picked,
seen way too
Ryan,
many
what's
musical.
I picked movie musical immediately. I was like,
Yeah, it's me and you, buddy. And I come
Kyle,
here to
sorry
beat
to-
you.
sorry
We
to
did
break your
it!
winning
Yeah,
streak.
fuck
Your
Kyle!
winning streak.
Go drink a Monster, damn it.
Okay, speed round. How many?
Don't
I
punch
know.
me though, please.
Matt,
Go
this
out
is
like
the part I'm
drywall,
confused on. How many speed round questions do they get?
As many as it takes.
Oh,
It's the first person.
Every
to
time
laugh.
people are
It's
like,
2-3 right
First
now.
person
they're like, oh,
5
no,
points.
I'm like, he drinks
oh,
nice.
and you guys have.
He
I
can't
have
be
3,
like
he has
that.
2.
Okay, first person 5 points. All right. And how long do they get for the question?
30 seconds at first and then 15 seconds for the rebuttal.
Okay.
First person to state their answer goes second.
Yep.
All right. Well, the question is going to be best ever cover song.
Total Eclipse of the Heart by Hurrah Torpedo.
Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley.
I go.
Jeff Buckley's Hallelujah is hands down the best cover of that song. It will bring tears to your eyes. It's the one everybody knows, mainly because after he wrote and recorded it, he ended up dying, so it kind of has like a deeper meaning to it. It's just a great song. It's very simple, but his the way he plays it on guitar, the way he does his arpeggios, stuff like that is just completely brilliant. His voice, like you can hear the despair.
Your choice just sounds like it's going to make everyone who listens to it sad, because it's kind of a sad song, where I chose a very fun song from a very fun band. If you're not familiar with Hurrah Torpedo, they use nothing but kitchen appliances for their percussion, and you've never heard Total Eclipse of the Heart sung or performed this way. It's fucking fantastic. It is the most entertaining thing to watch, and it is one of the most original things I've ever seen musically. They use a stove for a fucking bass drum and beat on it, and it's just fucking great to fucking watch. They have lots of other covers, but this is probably the cover they're known most for.
Just because they use stoves and washing machines and stuff like that doesn't make it a better cover. With Jeff Buckley's Hallelujah, you get the meaning of the song. It actually propels the meaning of the song more in your face. It's what's there, just what happened to him afterwards. Makes a lot of sense.
I think the meaning of the song is irrelevant when it's performing a cover, because it's the meaning of it is drawn from the initial artist who wrote the song, where this song is just fucking fun to watch. And like I said, it's just going to make you sad hearing your song, where like we could all sit down right now and enjoy the shit out of my song, because it's fucking great.
Do they only get one rebuttal or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I just pick one, or do I have to explain why I picked
You
it?
can peg it.
Point goes to Chris.
Oh, you're just trying to get it done.
No, I honestly think that Rayner's right, but I thought Chris's argument was better.
I just listed the first fucking cover to come to mind.
Like, you're just really good.
I thought you were going to go with Faith from Limp Bizkit.
Well, I guess it will be nice. If I could touch your body. I got this red hat on, and everybody loves it.
Okay. We need at least one more. So, I'm going to go ahead and do this, because like I said, my speed round question. So, what is the worst ever cover song?
Behind Blue Eyes by Limp Bizkit.
This is not the dude you want to argue with that. You don't want to argue with Chris about that at all.
I put it on expert mode.
Evan, just for reference, Limp Bizkit is Chris's like favorite band. So, know what you said earlier?
Yeah. Oh, fuck, I'm trying to think of a terrible cover.
There's a lot of them.
Rainer's probably going to get this point, because the only thing I can think of in my head is not a bad cover. But,
Can you argue that it is a bad cover?
sure.
That's a great song. I love that cover.
But my entire argument for this would be based on playing the race card, which I'm not above. The worst cover is Shame on a Nigga by System of a Down.
If Old Dirty Bastard gives you permission to say it, you could say it.
No, it's me that can be able to say it. Like,
This was Corey's time to shine, and he's not here.
good.
Well, the only other thing
Not
after
to be
mentioning Limp
racist,
Bizkit,
looks Chris.
No. We're arguing now.
No,
Let's
the
go.
other
No,
thing
I'm
I
ready.
was
I'm
Faith by
ready.
Fucking Limp Bizkit. I don't want to argue.
Limp Bizkit versus Limp
Limp
It
Bizkit.
Bizkit.
is,
Yeah.
it is in fact Cars by Fear Factory.
I feel like we had this conversation like a week ago about really bad covers, and I just can't think of any of them.
But 30 seconds when you're ready, Chris.
Shame on the Nigga is a terrible cover because it is purely, not even purely, but it is very much so an excuse for suburban white teenagers in the mid 2000s to use the word nigga a lot in a song just because some, they're Arab, Persian, where they, I don't know. Armenian. Some Armenians do it, which is pretty much close to being black because, I mean, they've been persecuted a fuck ton, so they can say it. But, like, suburban skate kids that are getting dropped off the mall cannot.
Behind Blue Eyes by Limp Bizkit is awful. There's no differences in what the song is. Even the Who song kind of blows. It's not even Limp Bizkit. It's basically Fred Durst trying to fucking sell some fucking more albums or make more money. Shame on Nigga, like, nobody really knows that. You kind of have to delve deep into that. And like you said, Armenians, they are persecuted, so it makes a lot of sense. And it's a hard song, and they make it as hard as possible. It's a great fucking cover for what the meaning of the song is and what they're trying to go for. Behind Blue Eyes is just a, like, why?
I don't think Behind Blue Eyes was specifically to sell albums because to the best of my recollection, it was originally recorded for the Gothica soundtrack. That movie fucking sucked, but it was also on whatever the fucking album is. But that's when everybody stopped listening to Limp Bizkit, and Rainer gets this point because I don't really have like a counter argument.
That's just. Behind Blue Eyes was, again, for Limp Bizkit to be something, Fred Durst to be something. Shame on Nigga, like, it's a great fucking cover of it. They got permission to do it. It's just exactly what that song needs as, like, a metal cover. It's one of the best metal covers I've ever heard of any rap song. Like, it just gets the point across.
Can I mention one thing?
I heard what you said.
Don't make me spell it.
I want to mention
I will
one thing.
spell it.
That is a cloud.
It won't factor into your judgment at all. I just want to point out that the correct answer for worst cover ever was Fuel by Metallica being covered by Avril Lavigne.
Ooh,
Dude, I'm
okay.
still gonna go with Cars. They put fucking Peter Gabriel in the cover of a Peter Gabriel song.
That makes it legit, right?
That makes
It's a
it
remix. It's just a
the
remix.
same fucking song.
Point goes to Rainer, because guess what? I love Shame. It's an amazing cover. Behind Blue Eyes was a shitty cover of a shitty song.
I'm too sober to think properly. Usually by the speed round, I'm so drunk that like it works well.
Fuck yeah,
You
reverse
did
sleep.
really, really, really good in the
So it's 4 to
blind
4?
pitch.
4 to 3.
4 to 3, you're up.
Have you ever won before, Chris?
Close.
Not movies.
You've won
Nearly-
one movie.
Okay, I was gonna say nearly every other debate.
I won the 420 one. I don't even smoke weed, so, like, I mean, who cares? Wait for sports.
Okay.
The 421 was bad because I was just like, what'd I say? What was my answer?
It was fitting.
This is mid-argument. Just, what did I pick?
The 421 was actually the last one I lost.
Was.
You did lose that one, yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say that the rest of my questions really suck.
That's why it's speed round. That doesn't matter.
Go ahead and give me the best metal albums to start your kids on.
BT Bam Alaska.
Okay.
I don't know. I specifically didn't pick this question because I could not think of it.
Me either.
Yeah. I was like thinking of stuff I listened to when I was a teenager, and I was like, you should let your kids listen to that.
like my one of my favorite metal bands is The Irish is Murder. You cannot let a child listen to that.
I guess I should have said Alaska by BT Bam.
I have an answer for the band. I don't know an album off the top of my head, so I can't pick that. Fuck.
Do you know a
Actually, no. You said metal?
Uh-huh.
Can it be any type of metal?
Yeah.
Okay. Floored by Sugar Ray.
Awesome.
The correct answer is Baby Metal by Baby Metal.
Oh fuck! I forgot you fucking told me that. I was like, I can't think of it. You're like, if I was baiting, I just go Baby Metal. And I was like, I'm gonna keep that in mind for the fucking speed round. And I completely forgot it. Fuck.
That's collusion.
Well, he didn't use it.
I didn't use it.
It was almost collusion. Go.
The best metal album to start Child out with is Floored, because you sneak in with that hot #1 single of Fly, because that's a bop. It's catchy as fuck, and then they gradually hear the rest of that album and they're like, oh, this is kind of heavy. I kind of dig it. But also sometimes they just want to dance because they're kids and they're hyper, and that's when you turn on Fly. They shake their little asses and. I don't know any kid that's going to appreciate BT Bam and the complexity of like fucking math metal versus like the awesome 90s-ness of Sugar Ray and
So Alaska by BT Bam is the best one to start 'em on because A, it's prog metal, it's not math metal. They break into, you want to talk about a child having an attention span, they break into a lot of different time signatures, different styles of metal. You still have the growl from the vocals, you get clean vocals later on, you even get a little like break after Backwards Marathon where it's just like bass kind of groovy and stuff, so they'll kind of get like their like attention span kind of drawn off. Great guitar solos, great musicianship. It is a metal album, way more so than any new
metal album. To finish your statement. I just feel like the abrasiveness of BT Bam is just not going to attach to a kid, where like the pop single of Fly is going to appeal very much to children, and it's very much like that album. Floored is
Time.
good.
Just associating one song to introducing a child or anybody to a genre of music is a bad idea, especially if it's Fly on a new metal album. At least BT Bam has the same sort of style. You'll learn if the kid likes it. They might not like it, but you should introduce them to it because that is a genre of music that has...
Rainer, kids don't care about time signatures and
Band kids do.
musicianship. Point of-
Attention span.
They're not gonna be
Dancing around and be like, oh shit, it's different. I'll move like this. I'm not, I'll move this way. Whatever, I lose.
I just want to say, I would have went with probably Fundamental Elements of Southtown by POD.
prequel.
Why does everybody want new metal?
I would have went with.
Well, see, I also
Master of Puppets by Metallica.
You should have pointed out.
That's
You
the
should have pointed out
answer.
that new metal wasn't metal, and destroyed it.
I did. I was like,
okay,
Fly, and then you get new metal. It was sarcastic. Good job, Chris.
Oh man, prequel. It's pop metal about the devil that went mainstream and got songs about Satan on the radio in the Bible Belt.
Baby Metal.
After you said that, that's
Yeah,
a
baby
fucking
metal is the
great
answer.
No, that's a great one. All right, good game.
Good job, guys.
I don't even fucking remember that.
Good job, Kyle.
What's baby?
Kyle,
Oh my God! Play baby metal after we stop.
Bye. We gotta
going
go
live.
listen to Baby Metal.
Tune in next week.
Bye.